Tell him to take off his stereo.
Hi.
Sorry. Hey.
That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that. Yeah, I can't read it. There's no words on it. There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out. What is? I don't know what. Play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? It's me, it's Jeff C. And here we are once again. We'll do it live, the Real Alternative Podcast. And I am here, of course, with my co-host and good buddy, Red Pill Revolution. Red Pill, how you doing, man?
Oh, good, buddy. Good, buddy. Not as good as you, apparently.
Not as bad as me, perhaps.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so we have a big show tonight. We've got several awesome guests that are supposed to be joining us. A few of them have already arrived. Hey, how about that, eh? And for those of you who might be wondering, I've had my main YouTube channel censored and shut down. Basically, I can't do a damn thing. I've got access to one page alone. I can't even access my backup pages. So this is all a result of the Foley beheading and, of course, the subsequent Sotloff beheading, both of which I call this hoax, and many other people have. I just happened to have one of the first videos that went viral, and it was ban hammer from Google, shut down, my account suspended, and here we go. Leading up to the 13th September the 11th, 11 missing planes. Go figure that number, right? And, of course, we have the Uzi gun hoax. We have all these crazy stories going on. So, Red Pill, I hand it over to you.
All right, great. Yes, well, I just uploaded a video right now. It's actually it's being processed on your censorship and on the second, right, fake beheading that happened yesterday. And so this is very important because what is happening and what happened to you is really, concerning, and it's devastating. I mean, this is, we're trying to get the truth out, and you're one of the few people that do that very well. And so I'm just covering that in this video here, and we need to let people know about this censorship because that's part of the proof that we have that what we're saying is true. So that's what's going on right now. That is at the forefront of, I think that's the biggest issue I think we need to spread around because this ISIS thing is, I think it's really going to culminate around September 11th, in my opinion. So that's what everything indicates. And so that's what's going on with that right now.
Yeah, I mean, they very well they're shutting down a lot of channels, right? It's not just me. It's not. I mean, you've had the suspensions before. We've seen a lot of good channels go down. Friends of ours have lost their channels, had to restart. And with the case with mine, in case people have not seen the video, because it was only up for a good maybe 10, 12 hours before it was yanked down, I basically showed none of the actual beheading, which really didn't show
no video footage, right?
Yeah, no footage whatsoever, just some still images, my opinion, which is what it was. I watched the actual video, and it was a carbon copy. We talked about this last night on the Max Resistance Roundtable. It's my best guess that they were shot one after another, and these are actors basically playing out the role and trying to convince the West, the British, the American, the Australians, Canadians, everybody else out there that we need to do something serious about Syria. We need to get in there. We need to go back into Iraq. We need to get soldiers on the ground, sort of thing. Air attacks happening. They tried this last year with their sarin gas attack, hoax that they pulled at that time, and we're right back at it. And so perhaps the censorship is coming down hard now because they know that there's a lot more people. I mean, I think my video had about 20,000 plus hits overnight, sort of thing, and probably would have been in the hundreds of thousands by now, and they probably knew that and tried to nip it in the bud. And this is exactly what we have to expect, each and every one of us that does this type of work, especially when we're covering things that are as important as this issue. And we know it's important because it's all over the news. We have been programmed for a very long time with ISIS, which they're now calling ISIL, right? The Islamic State. They have been terrorizing people in their living rooms forever, setting up a potential major false flag that could very well happen within the next couple of weeks. I mean, certainly as we approach September the 11th, and they're telling us 11 planes have been hijacked, you can't make this shit up, right? It's just crazy.
Oh my goodness, man! I really, we're really running out of time too. I mean, because it's already September 3rd, and they're just gonna go ahead and execute the next guy next week, and then I think after that, they're going to go ahead and move forward with, you know, no matter, even if there's a significant amount of people calling it for what it is, they will go ahead and push through. And that's what they're counting on. You know, they count on people's short attention spans. Like I just mentioned that in my video. They count on people's short attention spans, the people's inability to critically think and swallow these stories in one ear and out the other. And that's what they're counting on. That's why they're so careless. That's why they don't care that they admitted it's fake and they still do put out a carbon copy, because they know that people will still swallow it, because tugging at the heartstrings is what gets the job done, and especially when it's your own people.
Did anyone notice how, with all the reports, like one of the first things they were saying is they were making sure to say, oh, this video was verified, you know, it's an authentic video. They kept on repeating that over and over since, you know, before everyone kind of called it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, the authentic. That's great that you brought that up, because they've been that initially, you know, actually with the Steven Sotloff here yesterday early, you know, mainstream media coverage, they said, you know, that they didn't authenticate it yet. So even though they didn't authenticate it, they still moved forward with the widespread national coverage, you know, even though it wasn't authenticated. So they pushed through that, and then of course, just like James Foley, they authenticated it, so-called authenticated it, and then they went ahead and said it was fake. So here we go again. They're claiming it's authentic, but hey, they might go ahead and just say it's fake again if we point out again.
You know, and the interesting thing to note too, I was listening to the Corbett report before, and he was answering questions with regards to MH17 and how there was a story that came out which Vladimir Putin's plane flew over the exact area where allegedly the flight was shot down. And where did that information come from? Well, it came from Russia Today, and it turned out to be false. In fact, when I did my video first, I totally, you know, I said, there's no way. I mean, come on, there's no way that Putin's going to fly over the only area on the planet that he's actually at war with, you know, or one of the only places, right? It's ludicrous to even think that. So it was misinformation that went out and caught wildfire, and everybody kind of, you know, a lot of people picked that up and went with it, and this is how it goes. So they can release misinformation and then come back, you know, 5-6 days later and say, well, guess what? It's actually the video is false, right? But 99% of people are just going to remember the initial thing. They're going to remember James Foley, and they're not going to follow up on the story. They invested their emotions already in this story, and they don't want to be told that they've been fooled. So a lot of these stories that came out covering the admittance, right, of the using the team of experts that they hired to do it, I'm sure a lot of that wasn't front page. It was only a few articles that were done. I think the Telegraph was one of them, and that's how it works. So when we say, hey, you know, like last week we were celebrating in a way, saying, look, we actually had a victory. We were able to prove that this thing was fake, and then the media had to come back and admit it. But really, it wasn't. It's not like that was the lead-off story. It wasn't on CNN, so most people never even got that follow-up story, and therefore most people still believe that James Wright Foley was beheaded and that video was real. And
and I think it's a good point that you bring up, because it brings up the fact that repetition is one of the main tactics they use to mind control people. So even though this has come out as fake, and they might have mentioned it a couple times, they're still repeating the story over and over again.
Exactly. That's a great
in
point.
the collective subconscious of people to make them think that it's real, even though it's already come out that it's fake. But the repetition, it's a very important tactic that is used to mind control us, and people that just don't really follow up on what this stuff means. I mean, half the people, like 90% of the people that know about this, general public, they just think it's real. They don't know because it's repeated. Repetition.
That's how they do
Not
it.
only that, but they haven't had the in-depth sort of experience that we've had in breaking down these things, these lies. So they don't have a history of distrusting the corporate media, and that's the biggest problem that we have trying to wake people up, is that so many people just, well, it's BBC said it, so it must be true, and then they don't realize all the times that the BBC or CNN or ABC or any of these news outlets lie. They lie every single stinking day, anytime they can, twice on Sundays. I mean, that's what they do for a living. They get up and they read teleprompters, and that's the whole problem. And so when a video like my one all of a sudden gains traction and starts popping up on search engines, right, and maybe websites are picking it up, I get a lot of alternative blogs posting our work, and then all of a sudden, they're trying to stomp it out, like all of a sudden Google's like, they're getting pressured, probably, right? They have the super flaggers that are involved. The super flaggers find the videos that they find offensive. Now we know, and hopefully maybe some of our listeners in the chat room will chime in too, a lot of people lost their videos analyzing the James Wright Foley beheading, and so many people did, and so much happened as a result of that even today when I was listening, and I didn't listen to the full thing, but Paul Joseph Watson put up a video on Steven Sotloff, of course.
Yeah,
saying,
Captain Obvious, yes.
Yeah, and he said when he came in, he says, now Google, I'm not going to show anything. YouTube, if you're listening, please, he was pleading with them because, this is the censorship. It's not just us. It's everyone that's getting hit. Anybody in the alternative media that has the balls to come out and call it what it is going to get hit. And, man, I mean, like what we were saying last night, what if the next 9/11 happens? Well, you won't be able to go to Free Radio Revolution to get your information, and who knows, maybe they'll get Red Pill Revolution and Press Reset Earth next, right? Just on anything. And people that are listening right now, my first strike is a community guideline strike on violence and gore, and this was given the day that my account was supposed to be strike-free for the first time in a year and a half. In a year and a half, I think it was early July the 5th. I was looking for it. I had it circled on my calendar. It was like the day I can have long videos. I could do this. I was so excited. The morning that happens, bam, I get a video pulled. The video of Elliot Rodger driving around his car listening to 80s music, the most inoffensive video ever I've ever put up. And now I got my second strike dealing with calling Steven Sotloff the beheading a hoax, right? And I'm totally crippled. I've got access to a grand total of 1 page. I can't even get to my backup pages. I can't do anything. So right now, people that are listening, I have an old account that I was able to access, and that's how I'm able to get on. But I'm completely locked out. So if you've left me messages and you're trying to reach me, or send me important information, try Twitter, because I won't be able to get it on Google.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Free Radio, there's been 2 videos in a row now that were unfairly tagged, and you must be hitting a nerve with these people, because it's just straight up unfair. I mean, you get flagged for gore when there's absolutely no gore. I saw both those videos. It's you couldn't be more blatant. It couldn't be more unfair and wrong.
I think like what I hear from people that are leaving comments that I'm able to see without logging in, sort of thing, on my videos. People saying you really are hitting a nerve. A lot of people on Twitter saying this. You know that you're succeeding when they come after you and they slam it down. But it's like, even though, I mean, I went to the extremes. I made sure that I didn't show anything, no blood, no sawing, no nothing. And even doing all that, still got banned. And what that tells you, what that should tell everyone who's listening, is that if Google wants to shut you down, they will, and they don't need a legitimate excuse. They don't need anything. They can just do it. And I guess the greater sort of underlying thing to this, the whole sort of meaning that we could pull out of this, is that we don't have a viable alternative to YouTube right now, and it's a serious problem.
Yeah, and that's something that I think Dabu had a channel update like a week ago, talking about how we really need to do it real soon, because this is shit's about to hit the fan. I already got I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything, but I took a little cash out of the bank, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to buy some more silver. So I think that, it's good to be prepared, have a fire extinguisher in the building, even though you probably won't have a fire, or maybe you will, whatever. So, I think that this new platform is important too, because my gut tells me a lot of these outlets will be shut down, but I'm not sure if they will be able to actually shut down the entire internet, like actual websites. But in terms of Google, the big ones, Facebook, YouTube will be extra censored, I think, if shit hits the fan. Worst case, it could be all shut down, but we need to prepare and take all the contingency plans that we can, because obviously it doesn't look like they have a contingency plan. They're going along with this plan no matter what, even if they are being exposed. We've seen this before. They get exposed and they keep trying it over and over again. There's a set plan. They don't care. They're going through with it. That's what it seems like to me. So exactly. I think we need to, be vigilant and keep our heads up.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, everyone has to understand that anyone can be shut down at any time. And we've seen the big channels go down. We could say Alex Jones, I think, had his channel shut down for a few hours, maybe. Mark Dice, it was, a day, less than that. Stefan Molyneux, the same thing. And those people have the ability to, get on the phone. I got people high up in Google, as Alex Jones says, right? Get on and get to their contacts or whatever. And when it comes to us, our channels, forget about it, right? There's no recourse. There's no communication. Fuck that shit. Google does not communicate. Are you kidding? You want to try and reach Google? Forget about it, right? They don't care. They don't want to hear from you. They don't give a flying fuck. In fact, what they probably want to do is just shut you down. If you do anything controversial, if you're not baking cupcakes or playing video games, you probably shouldn't be on YouTube. But what else do we have? And even today I was listening to, as I said before, James Corbett, and he was saying the same thing. He was saying that there definitely needs to be an alternative. The problem is that whatever alternatives that have arisen in the past, Vimeo, Dailymotion, things like that, they just don't cut it. I mean, the amount of views, the amount of attention, we all have, I have over 6 million views on my channels. Red Pill's right up there. Press Reset's got millions of views. We're all reaching a ton of people with our work thanks to YouTube. But then again, now they can just turn around and completely, shut us down at will at any time they want, and there's no way to say anything about it. So that's the big problem. It's a real dilemma because, of course, if we switch to those other platforms, then our audience is likely to evaporate, and unfortunately so many people are dependent upon YouTube. I mean, it really is. It's a monopoly. Any way you slice it. I mean, when it comes to uploading personal videos onto YouTube, or on the internet, YouTube is a virtual monopoly.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think we need to either put up our own platform somehow, or just a website. Well, we already have Max Resistance too, but maybe even try to get some of our viewers to check out like a Vimeo account or something. I'm not really familiar with Vimeo.
But the same thing will happen there. In fact, it happens quicker. And that's the case with a lot of people that I know that have switched over to Vimeo or Dailymotion thinking, well, we'll escape the clutches of the Google NSA, dragnet sort of thing. And it doesn't happen. In fact, you get censored there much quicker. You violated the guideline terms, right?
And the only thing with that is... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Chrissy.
The only thing with that is, we'd be reaching the same people over and over. The same people that are following or listening now would just get accounts. I mean, the amount of new people that we would get would drop to the point where it'd be barely anything if we switch over.
Well, yeah, that's
another
true.
problem with Vimeo and Dailymotion and getting a new website.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
It's a good
But
idea, but
at the same time, it could be treated as sort of like a backup channel where we would like just send our subscribers for certain videos, you know, just so you know we could at least have a platform if everything went to shit, you know, like a very last resort kind of thing, you know.
That's the big worry too, you guys, because as I said in the opening sort of intro there, the next 9/11 could be around the corner. I mean, the way that they're scaring, fear-mongering us through their stories, you know, the crazy stories, 11 planes being stolen, you know, all this talk about another 9/11, an epic, you know, something even bigger than 9/11 happening. You know, if this kind of thing does happen, you know, you think you're going to be able to put up a video, like say if they hit Chicago or New York again or Boston, right? And they take down a few buildings and kill a few thousand people, you think you're going to be able to put up a video on YouTube calling it a false flag? It'll be ripped down so quick, and you will be suspended or even just outright kicked off of YouTube for good, sort of thing. And that is the reality that we're facing, because in many ways they let us cover these smaller false flags, right? Because it's not as important, say Sandy Hook or Boston, things like that, as perhaps the whole plan to invade the Middle East, to take over Syria. Those are massive plans, and they don't want people fucking with those things. So those are the type of videos that they don't want to get viral, they don't want to have on their platforms. So it's obvious.
Those types of plans, that's like billions, hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars invested in a plan like that. So yeah, they'll
the whole military-industrial complex. So all these corporations that are connected together that have the same interests, that want to see this invasion happen. They want to see, you know, they want to see Syria invaded. They want to see Iraq taken over again. They want Iran eventually to be hit. And we'd be fucking directly with that. So we'd have so many people that would be against the work that we're doing.
Yeah, and in Iraq specifically, we noticed a lot of the terrorism and stuff, the ISIS crap, is going on there. And I've gone over in previous videos the fact that it's because of Iran's influence on Iraq, the whole Shiite influence. They're trying to bring in their Western-backed Sunnis. So this is about a greater sort of East versus West mentality, I think. You know, they're trying to really, you know, invest in the future of the resources of this planet. So it's basically a battle over the resources. You know, all the oil there in the Middle East, and you know, Iraq's a problem for them, so they're doing that, and also they want to take over Iran as well. It's sort of like this East versus West battle for the future of who controls the resources on the planet. I think that's YouTube. Couple of YouTube, they'll shut down YouTube for that all day. You know.
They don't even have to, though. I mean, they can just turn it into nerdy nummies, right? I mean, that's what they want, anyways. That's what they.
It's already that now. I mean, honestly,
it really is. It's amazing, though, in a sense, because we are that dark corner that they talk about. That dark corner on the internet, or that dark corner on YouTube. That is our corner, and it's not dark. You know, you don't have to be afraid if you haven't come into our area yet. But it's big. I mean. There's a lot of really, really amazing people that are making videos, putting out really important information. I mean, it's amazing how the community that we've been able to build through this platform. So there's been a lot of good working through Google, but now we're hitting that roadblock. We're hitting that point where it's like, okay, you know, we're messing with the New World Order, and they don't like it. And there's a point where they're just going to say, fuck you, you're done, right? And I get these threats all the time. I get people saying things like, we're going to shut you down. We're going to shut you. I know Dabu's been getting the same thing. I know Red Pill's been getting it, like a lot, especially dealing with the Uzi one hoax lately. But I get people every day saying, we're going to shut you down. You're going to see it's going to come. You're getting shut down. Sure enough, I'm shut down, you know, a few days later. And it's you know, that's what's up.
So again, you're locked out of all of your accounts, right?
Yeah, everything. I get one page, which is my features, which has the 2 copyright strikes, and that's it. That's all I get to see. I try to click on my subscriptions, I get my features.
Okay.
I try to click on my inbox, it's my features. That's all I get.
Right. That happened to me too. Remember that time I got suspended for 2 weeks? That's the same thing that happened to me, except I was able to use my Red Pill Films backup channel. How is that possible?
I can't use any of my channels. I can't even access them. It's impossible. It's because my Google Plus account has been suspended, so it's the root account. So that's my theory.
That's
I wish I could
find the explanation, because why was I able to use my backup? Okay, well.
Did you have 2 community strikes or did you have 1? See, I think you had 1, and that's the difference. And if
you had 2, then they eliminate all of your accounts.
Yeah, well, I'll read it out to you. In fact, everybody that's listening will want to know this. Everybody that has a YouTube account. So I'll do a quick search for it. I read it before today because I was trying to figure out exactly what it meant. I believe what it means is that all your privileges are suspended. So you can't. Guidelines. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and type at the same time. I'm not good at this. YouTube. Second community guideline strike. So okay. So I'll read this out. This is on their official page. So the first strike on an account is considered a warning. Second strike: if your account receives 2 strikes within a 6-month period, you will not be able to post new content to YouTube for 2 weeks. If there are no further issues, full privileges are restored automatically after a 2-week period. And then the 3rd week, of course, they just pull the rug out from underneath you and you're done. Your account's been terminated. So it doesn't sound as bad when you read it, but then you try to get into your account, you can't access anything. I'm telling you, I've got access to 1 page and 1 page alone. No matter what I click on, no matter what I try to do, try to get to my backup pages, because I wouldn't have a problem. It wouldn't be so bad if I could just go to my backup pages, start putting up, videos on my backup pages. It wouldn't get the same amount of attention, but still would have my loyal, hardcore fans and followers and listeners that would tune in. But I can't do that either. So they have effectively shut me down at least for 2 weeks, and it could be worse. I mean, they might just decide to kick me off for good. Or they just might throw another strike against me. It could be a copyright strike. It could be anything within the next 5-6 months while I still have these 2 strikes, and then I'm done, period.
Well, whatever you cover now, you can pretty much get a strike for gore. If you cover a shooting, you talked about a shooting, it's gore. Strike, it's like...
Exactly. That's the whole thing this is why we're at this point right now. And as Tom was saying, Dabu's been talking about it. A lot of people have been talking about it. Corbett's talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it that's involved in this, because we all know that they can do what they want with us. They can shut us down at any time. So therefore, what is your option? Even if you have backup pages, well, if they're connected to the same Google Plus account, forget about it, because that's my experience right now. You will not be able to access it at all. So it's pretty nasty.
Do you have all your pages connected by the same email account?
Yeah, well, that's kind of how it works, unless you have several accounts that you make, and I didn't. I was lucky to find an old account that I had from years before, and luckily I was able to find the password and get in, and that's how I'm with you guys tonight. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to take part in the show. So,
well, I think you could always create a new email and just start a new account, right?
That's true. You can do that, but then again, it takes forever to get your following, to get everybody to come back. So, yes, of course, people like you and Red Pill and Chrissy would all put up videos saying, go subscribe to Jeff's new page. So if I have to do that, I will, obviously. But you know how it is. You'll never get the same following. You'll never have the same numbers. You'll be, instead of having thousands of views, maybe even tens of thousands, you'll be having dozens or hundreds at most, and it's very frustrating because you work so hard for so long to build up the ability to have a voice in this community, in this on this platform, and you finally do, and you start reaching a lot of people, and all of a sudden, nope, we don't like what you're saying, so we're going to shut you down. So people have to realize that the censorship that exists right now, we have the freedoms, right? And we've been able to use those freedoms to create these communities and have these wonderful pages and all this information and all these awesome blogs, but they can be taken away from us really quickly, especially if we're dependent upon the giants of the internet like Google and Facebook, Twitter. Those are the ones that are definitely under the thumb of the New World Order, and well, they work for the New World Order. Google works for the New World Order, so they're not going to want to see our videos be featured or get millions of views. They're going to do everything they can to prevent that. And
yeah.
Now,
So
go ahead.
my bad. So yeah, if I'm thinking about it this way, sort of like how you diversify your portfolio with investments. I think we got to start diversifying our fan base, our subscribers, to different outlets, especially to some to outlets that aren't as big, aren't as controlled. And somehow we got to start diversifying. That's the way I see it. And again, we can still use YouTube to reach new people, but at the same time we got to diversify. Start making videos and putting them on other platforms somehow. I mean, I don't. At this point, we got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important.
Well, I think we all need to pull as many of these channels together as possible, and all communicate and come up with some sort of plan. And I've been talking with a lot of different people out there trying to get it. And we need the right type of talent. We need people that are listening in the audience right now, people that are good at designing web pages, people that know this stuff. That is going to be a huge help for us, because we're all part of this together. I say this all the time. I mean, my subs, the people that follow me, all you guys, I mean, we're all part of this. Everyone has an effect on everyone else. Everybody helps support everyone else. So it really is a community. And when one person goes down, we're always there to rally for them. So we really do need people to come together and really come up with some sort of plan. And especially in case of another 9/11, because if that is in the cards, if we get hit with that, you know that those videos that you like to put up with the 100% case closed, they're not going to let that. They're just going to.
That's all press. That's all press.
Not all me. Come on.
Okay,
no,
listen.
I used it last night. With the I put busted and
it worked, huh?
It revealed. Oh yeah, it worked, of course. And that, as we said before, I mean, we don't necessarily feel good about using those titles, but the whole problem is we're trying to get the audience, to get the people to wake them up. So sometimes we have to resort to theatrics within the title alone just to pull in the viewers, right? And it's an unfortunate sort of part of the whole game.
Now, guys, I just dropped a banhammer on someone. Listen, speaking of banhammers, you're in for a treat. Everyone is in for a treat. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna share my screen here. All right, I'm going to share my screen. And speaking of banhammer, you guys are all going to witness my public banning of Red Pill Philosophy. That's it. I've had it with this troll. Here he goes. He just commented.
What's he say?
He's trolling all of my videos today because he saw my comment on Paul Joseph Watson's video. So of course he's a fanboy, and so he's trolling. Here he is on my my first video on the Uzi hoax. Calling BS that went viral.
Yeah.
Now, naturally, every time a video goes viral of this nature, especially that I didn't really put much into it, it was just sort of my opinion, people are going to inundate it with, people are just going to thumb it down automatically. So you just typically disable videos like that. Press Reset Earth, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Now, so here's what he is trolling on this video. He says, "LOL, what an inbred. Has to disable ratings because even his own subscribers are downvoting." Yeah, that's true. Yeah, my own subscribers. Yeah. Your paranoia, your paranoia is getting. He says your paranoia is getting the best of you. You could always go clean toilets for Alex Jones if this venture doesn't work out. Okay, guys. Well, it's ban time. Check right here. Ban from channel. Boom. You're gone. I'm done with you.
That's Red Shill Philosophy, who spent Red Shill Philosophy spent weeks. I mean, a good 3-4 weeks polluting my videos with trollish comments, and it just went on and on. I never respond. I responded once, and then I was like, I'm never going to respond to you again. And that's what happens. I mean, we get these people that are supposed to be on our side sort of thing, but no, they don't like it. They don't like that we do all this great work on false flags. No, these guys can't be legit,
Dude,
so fuck them.
Red Show Philosophy, you are banned, you bastard. Get out of my face.
And by the way, another thing to note is that you can double ban them. You go to their Google Plus page and then you ban them there, and apparently that works better.
I will double. I'll triple ban them right now. It is freaking.
So
you know,
I've
tried to stay patient with him because he's, you know, he was doing this before, but I stayed patient. You know, I let him comment. I didn't ban him, but this is it. So there you go.
Yeah, we get a lot of that. I get persistent trolls. I get a group of trolls. They might all be the same person. They follow me around the video to video. They obviously spend a lot of time looking at my Google Plus page because they know where I go, because they always show up there, and they leave these nasty comments, and it's the same group of fucking retards, and they talk to each other. And I bet it's the same person.
Oh, one of the trolls that always trolls me, if you ever looked at his Google Plus page, and him, like, you know, 7 other of the trolls all talk. Like, it's seriously every single day.
And they have their own troll lingo, too, and their own language. Weird.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
And they celebrate, you know, when something happens. Like today, you know, I left some comments on some videos saying my channel was shut down, and sure enough, they show up. Woohoo! You know? They're all happy. Well, you had your day, or I hope you're happy, you know? It's just silly. So, you know, I wanted to ask you, though, Red Pill, since we're on the subject, we didn't really get a chance to talk about this yet in depth, but you had done so much work on the Uzi hoax, and as a result, I think you had one video that went super viral, another one that went really, it was like 100,000 or something.
300,000. That's the one he just commented on.
Wow.
That's the one that he just trolled on.
So why don't you tell everybody about what's your experience with that, why you think it's a hoax? Like, I know it's mostly because of the gun and the way the camera cuts real quickly, and then of course the family, when you research them, they didn't have any family photos on the Facebook. I actually did I went to his Facebook page when I did my video, the only video I did on it, and he had like 5 or 6 photos or something like that, or at least that's all I could access. But why don't you tell us about all that experience that you've been going through?
Yeah, I will. Let me just mention one thing real quick, and I'll get to that. Also, did you happen to are you aware of Police State Radio's whereabouts? Did he not contact you?
I don't know. He's supposed to be coming on. I talked to him on Skype, and he was ready.
Okay.
He said he's going to be a bit late, so he says, drop me a link. I'll be a bit late, but I'll be as quick as I can.
Okay,
so,
but you did. I want to remind you did, right?
Yeah, he's got the link, so...
All right,
and I just want to say one thing, too. 300,000 views, but I guess all those dislikes were your subscribers, right? You know.
Yeah,
because it's 10 times the amount of subscribers you have. So. I mean,
yeah, the douche face can't put 2 and 2 together. It's just pure trolling. He's just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
So now, guys, if you guys cannot talk, I got to turn up my volume because I do want to show you the intro of the video I just put up, Jeff. It's just like 15 seconds.
Go right ahead. Yeah,
I want to show you how I approach this. Hold on.
Attention. Just as it occurred with the James Foley video, once again censoring any coverage of a so-called ISIS beheading, even though there is no graphic imagery shown. As a precaution, I will be showing no video footage of any kind. YouTube and Google have no grounds to remove this video. Hey.
There you go. So I just put that up, and so people check that out, you know, as soon as the show is done, or whenever you can.
This video is for the purpose of education.
Stay real and stay. What is it?
Stay up and stay real.
Stay up.
I love it.
Stay fake.
I guess that reminds the girls of Viagra, right? I mean, remember that's what they were saying before. I was like, how? How does that remind? What?
So there you go, Jeff. You know, I'm very cautious in this video, so that just goes along with what you were saying. That trying to be careful here. You know, it's like
Now you see. I mean, it's funny because it's almost like Paul Joseph Watson's video where he's like, "No, I'm not. You know, I want Google to know I'm not showing anything." You know, you could tell how worried everybody that's covering this, even whatever angle they're covering it from, is worried about the censorship because they saw what happened to all the Foley videos, right? That were ripped down, people's accounts closed, and all that. And that's the reality, man. I mean. You know, they can censor anybody at any time, whoever they want, and only when DICE or Paul Joseph Watson or one of these, you know, Stefan Molyneux gets censored, will you hear about it like on InfoWars or something like that, right?
Exactly, and they're all like they all support each other. That's one of the definitions of one of the aspects of your video of the shill definition, right? Is usually they support each other.
Exactly.
Sort of, that's what Mark Dice did. He promotes Paul Joseph Watson and the Robin Williams fiasco. You know, they supported each other there. He's like, hey, check out Paul Joseph Watson's video. He had a great video, and it's all synchronicity. It's all synchronicity. It's all Carl Jung guys. He had a great video. Go check it out.
Yeah, once you put your hat in the ring with Mark Dice, forget about credibility because you've lost it all. All right, yeah. That guy's the black hole of fucking credibility. But let's go on.
Let me continue what I was saying. Okay, I'll go ahead and finish what I was saying. So here's how that unfolded, how this unfolded. I initially put the video out, BS alert, calling BS, and it was it was basically at the same time you released your video. We both uploaded it like simultaneously, and calling out this story. Well, either way, I didn't see it.
No, it's all right.
I didn't see it though. I already.
You know how you know that? Because you mentioned my video in your video. Like Jeff Seek just covered this, but he did the
Oh, I did. You're right.
Busted!
Exposed. Sorry, guys. I just got exposed, but it's okay. You'll
Go
forgive
ahead,
me.
Bill.
But
anyways,
I covered that right after you did yours, and calling out basically, you know, just my sort of opinion right away of it, and calling it out for what I thought it was, and so that went viral, and then I followed my investigation, and I felt like it was important since that video went viral. It's a good opportunity for me to expose it, and you know, most people. You know, even those of us who are aware of some of the hoax shootings, you know, I noticed that many people were like, I don't know, Red Pill, this one seems like it could be real. And, you know, we get this time and time again with these fake shootings. Now, again, like I try to reiterate that the gun control agenda is, okay, we're at its peak right now. We're in the final stages. So you have to understand that just about every related shooting story on the mainstream media is going to be orchestrated propaganda because we're in the final stages. It's just what it's going to be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a mass shooting. It can be a small story like this. It could be a story of a guy waving his gun around in a baseball field, making kids cry and having nightmares that he's going to kill them, like that happened that one time that Review Magnified covered.
You know,
yeah.
and
so
go ahead.
No, what I was going to say that's one of the things that even people, even like us, were like questioning, and on my channel, and we have to reiterate the fact: doesn't matter how small, how big, it's all about programming, conditioning. Eric Holder, make people think differently about guns. That's what it's all about.
100%. You know, and all of them are linked together, and you see how they link them together. The politicians will come out, Eric Holder or Obama or Bloomberg or whoever. Dianne Feinstein, they'll come out and they'll talk about the shootings in the schools, Sandy Hook, the shootings in the malls, right? The shootings, in the theaters, right? And each one relates to a false flag, right? And that is how it works because and like the dumb turds do this. They'll come out, like I was working on a video which I never finished where I was going to put together all the support that TYT has done for this whole gun grab. And it's so massive, it's exhausting just to dig into it because half of their show is against guns, basically, right? And when they were linking one of the last shootings together, Elliot Rodger, they were talking about all the fake shootings. They had one Aurora, and then we had Sandy Hook, and then we had the Navy Yard or whatever, and it's like one after another, and they're all hoaxes. So the whole narrative that is being built by the New World Order within the corporate media is all based on these false flags, these hoaxes, these fake shootings. So they will use them all together, and that is the mind control. That's how it works. So I can definitely see how even smaller ones like this are going to be used to add to the whole.
And what people got to understand too is that even the small ones, a lot of people, I've seen comments, why would they fake such a small shooting? And, well, even though it's on the news, why something's a small scale? Why not another Sandy Hook? Well, because the small stories actually get into the subconscious without people realizing it. So it's really a lot more of a covert manipulation. People won't even realize that their opinion on gun control has changed because of seeing these stories and coming across them casually, as opposed to Sandy Hook. Before, they tried doing it. They tried making people consciously change their mind. Now it's a subconscious thing. Well, let's see if we can change their mind without them knowing. That's what I think.
That is so well. That is a great point, man. And covert manipulation, right? And you have the subliminal association between events, right? That's what we were talking about that yesterday, and that was a great point, man. Now, and again, this association with kids. That's what this is about. The 9-year-old, right? Now you have that subliminal kind of, right? That on a subconscious level, programming you with kids, bringing kids into the mix of it, tugging at your heartstrings again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. And
so that's that element too. So now, if I'll continue, so if I may continue now. After that video, so like I said, I continued with the investigation. I looked into the Facebook pages, of course, the video. I released a video that was, and I highlighted the manipulation of the video and also the sound of the gun. Now that video, I mean, there were some flaws with it, but the important thing was I wanted to highlight the sound of the gun, which I was able to do. And so as long as I did that, I'm okay with it. But then more evidence came out after that. So the gun range owner, he has his Bullets and Burgers range Facebook page and his own personal Facebook page. Now, according to him, supposedly he is like a brother to him. He's like family. Yet he posts no updates for his condolences about his death on his page or the Bullets and Burgers webpage. And that would never happen in a real situation. Let's just come on.
Yeah, damage control alone, they would be using their social network to say, our hearts are, the cliche, our hearts are with the family.
Yeah, I mean that's what anybody normal in a normal situation in reality would happen. You would see them say, we lost a family, we lost a member of the family yesterday. We lost a member of Bullets and Burgers. I lost my brother, right? That's like his brother. Last night, and he would post that. Why no posts? Just things like that, and of course the gun just not sounding. That's the thing that most people recognize, is that the gun just doesn't sound like a real gun. When you listen to it. Yes, it's from a cell phone, but I believe that the cell phone should pick up an accurate sound of a 9mm mini Uzi. Sorry, but that's what I think.
Why is it such bad footage? I mean, with the phones that people have today. Yeah. And we see this time and time again when we see these things being used in false flags. The grainy footage, it's purposely done that way, so you can't examine it, or you can't examine it accurately. And I know one of the things that people were trying to figure out is if any of the casings were being ejected as the shots were being fired, and you couldn't find that right in the footage. You couldn't find the spent casings flying up into the air like you normally would.
Exactly. That's what many people highlighted as well. But some people say they can see it. Some people say they can't. So I mean, you want to focus on whatever is that can't be mostly refuted, right? And that nobody's.
Sorry, have they been using this story a lot in the media? Is it something?
Yeah. Well, the first week they did. The first week it was ongoing the whole entire week. And I think they pretty much stopped coverage now. But just recently, they released the 911 call. I think it was 2 days ago. So, it's ongoing, but it was full coverage pretty much the whole week, ongoing. Yeah. And so it is a mini PSYOP. It is a mini PSYOP, and it doesn't have to be. Again, it doesn't have to be a mass shooting. And so pointing out all these inconsistencies. Go ahead.
No, absolutely not. That's how it works. It doesn't have to be like, I mean, even the Elliot Rodger. I mean, everybody refers to it as a shooting, but why not refer to it as a stabbing? I mean, nobody talks about the stabbing. Isn't the stabbing more gory? He killed 3 people in his apartment with a knife, right? Apparently, or a machete, and that's never makes the news. Nobody talks about that. There's no details released on that. And it's all focused on the shooting. So it doesn't have to be lots of people dying. It just has to be a story that they know that will resonate with the people that watch CNN and ABC News, the people that are lulled to sleep or terrorized easily in their living rooms, right? Those sheeple we know and love so well.
Hey, come on now. Don't call them people. They're people like us, and we used to be them. But, yeah, so, and then, of course, the other element is they want to say that the shooting, the Charles Vaca, who allegedly died, that he has kids. And so, of course, people were asking why would they say he had kids even though he doesn't? Like, why would you? Because I was presenting this as well. Well, no kids equals no sympathy or money. So they have to say he has kids. But the only evidence that he has kids of his own was just one photo. All over the internet, all you can find is one photo, and that originates from the GoFundMe page, from one of the GoFundMe pages. And, of course, badly pixelated, and there's definitely evidence of Photoshop in there. The kid has deformed fingers and like long, elongated alien fingers.
Alien fingers.
The kid's face is smeared. Just many anomalies, and that's the only evidence that he has kids.
And
we go figure.
We say this a lot. I said it during the MH17 crisis actors when they were interviewing them. Is like, give me a break. All right, in this day and age, with the type of technology that you could have in your pocket, right? Talking about the smartphones, right, that are able. I mean, Justin the other day was pulling out one. I was like, holy crap! It was absolutely amazing. I mean, if you went back in time 15, 20 years and you pulled that out, people would just, faint, looking at it, like the technology that we have, and yet we have these people putting up GoFundMe pages and they put these terribly pixelated pictures, and we saw the same thing in the MH17. We've seen it a lot of times where they'll use really grainy photos. I mean, of course, with Sandy Hook, so many of the photos, especially Victoria Soto photos, were proven to be photoshopped. Of course, the Parker family photos, numerous of those photos were photoshopped, and just in the most inexplicable ways, like almost like they wanted people to find out that they were doing this kind of stuff, So very bizarre.
Yeah, exactly. I want to ask you guys and the audience, what do you think? Well, do you guys think a shooting range, wouldn't they have a surveillance camera or some type of alternate,
yes, they would.
Some type of camera there aside from the cell phone footage?
You'd have to think so.
Right? I mean, that's a question I present to you guys.
Well, not if it's a hoax.
When I was a kid, my dad used to take me shooting, and so I've been to, I can't count how many shooting ranges, and there's always video cameras, like when you walk in the lobby, and in the range itself. I mean, there's no way they wouldn't have had surveillance of it.
And these cameras are cheap now. I mean, you can buy a whole set of them for a couple $100s, right? I mean, it's not expensive to do, so it would be in their interest to do it for liability reasons, right? What if somebody accidentally shot themselves or shot somebody else? Well, you'd have it on camera. You'd be able to say, well, it wasn't the fault of the employees or the establishment. It was the person who did the misdeed or whatever. So, and those are telltale signs of hoaxes. We can go back to the Lax shooting, where the Lax airport spent $1.5 billion installing the most advanced surveillance system in any airport, pretty much in the world. Just a couple years before the shooting went down, and yet the only footage that ever emerged at all of the shooting was from some guy inside the airport, a civilian, and his cell phone as he was running outside, being terrorized by the police. So, when there's no footage, or the footage is edited, or it's grainy, or it's really crappy, and it cuts off at the wrong moment. I mean, as I said, when I made my video, and like I do with these things, especially lately, I mean, the beheading hoaxes, both beheading hoaxes, I jumped on right away, and I tried to find the actual video, and I went to all these different websites to see, the type of gore websites and stuff like that I never go to, but just to find this one video, and it was all the same. It was the same edited video that showed nothing, basically. It was a Shakespeare play, I mean, it was a plastic blade or something, right? It's a joke. And they expect us to believe that, right? We're going to believe that because why? Because you've already admitted the first one was fake, and this is how it goes. I mean, our job here, what we're doing basically is taking these stories that are being used for propaganda purposes and exposing them for what they are, propaganda, right? So
yeah, and I just want to say this. For anybody out there, maybe new listeners or trolls or whoever, people that disagree with the hoax narrative, I would suggest you type into YouTube LAX shooting dummy. Now, if you're one of those people that need to see it to believe it, this really seals the case that they are staging.
You can watch my recent video, Tom. I just put up a video called "Wheelchairs for Dummies."
Yeah, no, I saw some. Yeah, I saw that you had a clip of that in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in there. He was in there. He was one of the stars.
It's one of the most obvious and blatant, like it's like direct proof that they staged that as a hoax, and obviously all these other shootings as well. But this is video evidence, so
Absolutely, and that is the whole thing. I mean, you could take any one of these staged events and just micro-analyze them and pull out all the things that don't add up. And the LAX is a great one to do that with. I mean, just the dummy alone is just the most hilarious thing. I had so many people trying to tell me, no, that's a real human being. He just lost a lot of blood and was pale. I was not born yesterday. Forget about that, man. I mean, that's the most obvious thing ever. And why did they do it? I think, it's the dog licking its balls, I guess, because they can. I guess because they don't really care if there's people like us that are going to discover it, because they know that they control the corporate media, and it doesn't matter how many conspiracy. It only matters when you start getting videos that go really viral. Then they start to get worried because, wait a second, too many people are waking up. But otherwise, let these people have their fun breaking down our bullshit. We don't really care.
And
it just seems like they put that dummy on purpose. Go ahead.
Exactly, I know that goes along with that whole they must do these things on purpose for us and stuff like that, because it's like so obvious, but they know they can still get away with it. Mm-hmm. So I did want to ask this as well. What do you think, Jeff, and everybody would the police department release this Uzi footage to begin with so fast without the full investigation being conducted? That's another question I had.
Especially with her being a minor, that's another thing.
It just
just the legalities involved, right?
That wouldn't even happen to begin with. You see these basic questions that people they can't ask themselves, of course, because their inability to critically think, and they swallow these stories. So just basic questions.
Another thing. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, and another thing is, going back to what you were saying about the grainy footage, I mean, everybody has a smartphone. Just about everybody has a good camera on their phone. There's no reason to have grainy footage. That's another thing people have to ask themselves.
They can afford to take the daughter to the gun range, so you can bet your bottom dollar they have good money.
But I'm saying that's another thing people have to keep in mind and ask yourself, like, why is all this footage always so shitty? Always.
And the most important thing that you should ask with every one of these events, any shooting that happens, and we're talking about not the shootings in Chicago where you hear about for an afternoon and then the next day it's ancient news or whatever, it's in the back pages. I'm talking about the major shootings, the Sandy Hooks, the Santa Barbaras, right? The LAX, the big dramatic shootings that the corporate media goes crazy about. Any one of them. They're all, what is the motive? What is the real motive? Who is going to gain from this event? Is it some crazy lone gunman that probably never existed, like Dorner or Adam Lanza, right? Or is it the powers that be, the establishment, the New World Order, in order to bring in they want, of course, the mind control to convince people that you shouldn't have guns, and guns are going to kill children, and, therefore you shouldn't protect yourself. Don't worry, the state will take care of you. So, the motive is always the biggest thing. Whenever it comes to any of these things, what is the motive? Who has to gain? And if you see that all of a sudden footage is released right away, just like we've seen with this Uzi gun thing. I mean, the footage was out instantly. I mean, it was just all over the place. But, of course, it wasn't the full footage, and you couldn't find that anywhere. So why would the police assuming it was the police that put it up.
Yeah, the police released it.
Why on earth would they release that footage
before the investigation is even conducted?
It would never happen. It would never ever happen.
It would never happen. Again, just something else that wouldn't happen unless you're in the Twilight Zone. Which we are.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the liabilities, right? I mean, the legal cases that could arise. The family that the gun, the gun instructor, they could sue the owner of the gun range, saying he didn't do the proper procedures, that he shouldn't have been put in that situation. The family of the little girl could sue, saying that she's been traumatized because they gave her a weapon that that she should never have had because she didn't have the physical strength to be able to hold it. I mean, it's ludicrous to begin with, right? The whole thing, and that's how they use it. I mean, that's why Red Pill. It's so important that you covered this because, the initial reaction is what they want from everybody. It's made for the dumb turds. It's made for CNN, right? It's made for, I would say, what's his name there, the old English blowhard that they had on CNN for so long that they finally got rid of. It's made. Pardon me? Yeah, Piers Morgan, right? It's made for that. The Wolf Schitzers, right? It's made so that they can, my word, and then you get Anna Kasparian or whatever her name is from the Dumb Turds, and why would I don't understand, and it's a perfect script. It's a perfect talking point because all the Chris Hayes and Rachel Madcows and all these freaking pathological liars in the corporate media can go on and on the basic talking points that they gave an Uzi to a 9-year-old girl. The fact that the place was called Burgers, what was it called? Guns and Burgers or something like that? Bullets and Burgers, right? I think. Red Pill stepped away for a second, so
wasn't that?
I'm sorry, my mic was.
Guns and Burgers? Bullets and Burgers, right? Something like that.
Wasn't that a different story though with the Bullets and Burgers? Wasn't that a guy that like molested an 11-year-old or something? He was the owner, or that was a show actually. I think.
That was a TV show.
That's the show, and that's why I think all these things are connected. I covered this in my 9/11 video where I said, look everywhere over the next couple of weeks for 9s and 11s to be all over the news as you approach, right? And the fact that story had a girl, I think she was 13, but she started to get molested when she was 11, and the guy was first arrested on August the 9th, right? And the dumb turds are reading out the story and shaking their head and just just being the typical fucking idiots that they are, processing this bullshit basically. And we're led to believe that it's all true. Of course, this is how they do it. It's like the Duck Dynasty guy. Sure. They take these guys, right? They put them in the spotlight. They give them a show. They appeal to a certain demographic, which, of course, when it comes to Duck Dynasty and the gun shows, it's the libertarian, Christian.
I wouldn't even say it's libertarian. It's more conservative, social conservative types. But I mean, libertarian it fits in that too as well. But it overlaps a bit.
Yeah, but the people that would watch that kind of stuff, right? So rednecks and stuff like that, right? Of course, Duck Dynasty and stuff like that. So they set these people up. They put them all over the media. They become celebrities, and then they hit them, either they're using them. What was the Duck Dynasty guy? Remember they had the big controversy? What was it that he did that pissed everyone?
Something about homos, I think?
Yeah, it was the gay thing. Something about the gay issue.
So it's perfect the way they do it. And this is where we come in because we see all the connections. So when you see just a day or two after that this burger and bullets thing happens and a 9-year-old with an Uzi, and then the next thing you know, you got the story of the guy from Guns and Butter. I don't know what the show was called. Chrissy, do you know what it was called? But and he molested his daughter, right? And these things all come together, and what they do is they penetrate the people that watch the corporate media. It forms a narrative in their head, like it makes them disgusted with people that like guns and the gun-loving culture, and This is how they're doing it. This is why motive. Who has to gain from all these things? Yes, shootings happen every day, but damn well they're not used. You know, we could talk about all the shootings. And I wouldn't even mind if they used those shootings, right? If they used real city shootings and said, you know, this is horrible, we have to do something about it, we have to stop, you know, we have to try and get blacks and Latinos out of these ghettos and, you know, like fix up the racism that's existing and stuff like that. But no, instead, it's not about that. They want those shootings to happen. They love those shootings. If anything, they're arming those people. But they, you know, and they want to be able to control the narrative of their stories, and that's why these stories are what they're using to program people with.
Exactly, man. And I think also, like I said, like it's culminating. It's going to culminate into, you know, a tipping point with this gun agenda. It's all going to add up, and it does add up into the mass consciousness, right, of the public. And so it's all these little stories, they add up, okay? And so when it gets to that point, they're ready to sort of clamp down and enact the laws or whatever they're going to do to take away our guns, or maybe link it to mental health, and they will take guns that way as well. They're going to do it. It's going to take many more mass shootings, but we know that this is just the beginning. They're not even close to done with that. So
yeah, it's going to go on. I mean, that's what we're seeing. And hey, school season's just started up. Wouldn't you know it?
Yeah. Exactly.
So
I mean, I'm sure they already have a few planned and ready to go.
Oh yeah, they do, and they have the themes and the colors and the ribbons and everything set to go. The Facebook pages, the GoFundMe's. I mean, it's like clockwork, right? And we can see. Okay, I can say from personal experience covering the Cassidy stay. I was pretty much the first one to really get on that and blow it open, and then Red Pill and others jumped. No, get out of here.
Never mind.
But anyway, so what happened with me though is I started getting death threats like crazy dealing with that one. I think I hit a nerve. I got too close, right? It was too obvious, and they were really afraid of that getting out, right? And they really came down hard on me. So there definitely is a concentrated and they're all connected. When we talk about Richard Martinez all of a sudden showing up, I think it was in Florida, Fort Lauderdale or something, I don't know.
And then the Sandy Hook girl was there too,
yeah,
right?
with the alleged daughter of Don Hochsprung, right? The principal that somehow told the story to the Newton B about the shooting, and then, well, sorry, we took that away. She's dead. You know, but they're all connected. These people start showing up. Of course, the ribbons, the slogans: Boston Strong, Moncton Spirit. You know, Stay Strong, Cassidy Strong. People sending me information too that there was there was a television show. I can't remember what it was, but I get all these messages coming in all the time where people are saying, you know what, that Stay Strong, somebody had that. That was in a television show that came out like 2 or 3 days before that shooting actually happened, and that was the hashtag that was used on this show. Dealing with some sort of killing or something, right? So like it's already programmed to people through the corporate media. I mean, through the entertainment and all that, and then all of a sudden it comes through on the corporate media, and the people are already, their brains are already you know, susceptible to it. They're already ready to accept the trauma and to, you know, react exactly as they want you to react, with anger, right, and hatred towards guns and all that.
Yeah, well, it's again emotional, tug at the heartstrings. That's what they count on, always. And so people let their emotions get the best of them, which is why they can't critically think as well when they're watching these news stories. So, yeah. Go ahead.
It's it. I mean, I mean, really, if we had a really good society, which meant that we actually educated our children instead of programmed them, which, I mean, the education system pulls out plugs, right? That's what it's there for. You're there, you know, to fill a spot, and you're not there to think or to use your brain or to, you know, expand yourself as a human being or expand your consciousness. You know, they try to shut down your pineal gland. They give you all these foods. They load the kids up with sugars. Then they send them off to schools and teach them just the stuff that just rots their souls. It's basically social conditioning. If we actually had a society, right? As I said before a couple weeks ago, when I was talking about taking a Greek person from Athenian Greek, right, to 2,500 years ago, sticking them in New York City or something, and they would thrive because they learned all this critical thought. They learned all the, you know, the trivium, things like that, the Masonic sort of ways of thought. If we actually had a society that was awake, say, as we were, on average, they would never be able to get away with any of these things, ever, because people would just be like, bullshit, you know, right away, right? As soon as the story comes out, you know, and people would laugh. You'd literally turn on your 6 o'clock news, and you'd be dying of laughter watching Wolf Schitzer or Bill O'Reilly or whatever spew their bullshit.
Oh my goodness! Oh, I'll tell you, Jeff. I think I'm gonna upload a video that I downloaded from Morning Joe Cast, of course.
Oh, I hate them.
Oh my gosh, with with Brzezinski's daughter Mika, and yeah. They did a little segment on their reaction to the Uzi hoax. My word, man, you have to see this. It is unbelievable. They're like ready to just break down in tears and like, how could this happen? You know, and NRA, they're just going to defend guns again, and it's totally disgusting. It is really bad, and you know, it's I mean, again, it does have a huge effect. You know, these little stories with this case in point with this Uzi situation. So the news is going to jump all over.
The way they're able to get into people's minds, and that's what we're trying to break. And that's where turning off your TV.
Yeah, I was going to say the best piece of advice is just don't watch television ever.
Yeah. Or come to places like our channels, right? To shows like this to get a critical analysis of the corporate media. And that's really, I mean, if we had a lot more of that, they wouldn't be getting away with it. They would actually do the thing called investigative journalism, which just seems to be
non-existent.
That's an extinct art form.
It is.
Muckraking journalism, you know?
Yeah, I know. I mean, we got the biggest channel on YouTube for news is called The Dumb Turds. And they don't even have an investigative journalist. They have zero. There's never a dumb turd on the scene.
They're a bunch of giggling little farts. They
just parrot the MSM lines, right? So.
That's it.
I mean, I just the whole way they approach it, their attitude, it just really gets to me, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
You don't like it.
I don't. They're like a bunch of sarcastic little.
Press Reset doesn't like it.
I don't like it.
It's like they take the corporate bullshit and they add Fruit Loops to it. I mean,
switching gears here, I did want to ask Press. You know about this, I think, more than most of us. I think your video went viral on it. But now Joan Rivers, apparently she's like ready to croak, and apparently many theories going around that she. You know, probably not so accidental because considering what she said.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility, but you got to look at the fact that she's also 81. But you know, also you got to look at the fact that she came out like a month ago and said Barack Obama is a homo and Michelle Obama is a man or a transgendered person, and anybody with two eyeballs and a brain can figure out that is a homosexual man with another man. So, you know, we got that going on, and then she called it out, and she's a very popular figure. I think she does a fashion show or something where she critiques people, and a lot of people in the celebrity world sort of really take her opinion seriously, you know. And when she comes out and says that, you got a whole bunch of people saying, well, maybe this is true. And she was serious.
They worship her. I mean, Joan Rivers,
well, of course, celebrities and people like her and stuff are the new gods and goddesses. So people do worship these folks, and they consider everything they say. You know, it's like gold is flowing out their mouth. You know, it's like the whole thing is just sick. But you know, it can be very, very troubling to the New World Order when one of these celebrities comes out and says something like that. That's that can be pretty much verified with eyeballs. Anybody with common sense, anybody who's seen a transgendered person, and you know they're all over the TV. They're all over the TV now with the propaganda. So it's a concoction that really it blew up in their faces when she said that, because people that follow her they know what these people look like. So if you look at Michelle Obama, these people are going to be like, well, yeah, that she does look transgendered, or it looks whatever you want to call it. But so
Tom, what's the problem with her? I mean, is she in a coma, or is she dead, or
She's in a coma.
Yeah,
she's about to induced coma.
Probably, yeah. She had like a neck surgery, but with prosthetics, some sort of cosmetic thing, and she went under. Her heart stopped, and she's in a coma, and she's being, I don't know if she's in critical or whatever. She's not doing well, but
yeah, that's how they do it though. A lot of times, I mean, it was Kanye West. I think his mother died in plastic surgery, and it was really far. And then a couple of weeks later, he was crying up on stage saying, "I sold my soul to the devil," and shit like that.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
Yeah, so this kind of stuff happens. Like Joan Rivers, people that are familiar with her, I mean, she is, when it comes to female comedians, I'd probably say she's the George Carlin of female comedians. And she is funny.
She is funny. Yeah, she's funny. Yeah.
I mean, in her prime, she was knockout. Like, she would go on Johnny Carson and just floor everybody. She was brilliant comedian. Yep. Of course, she became a plastic surgery freak, and that's one of her real sort of nasty sides to her. But there's a movie out there, documentary called Joan Rivers, A Real Piece of Work. I think that's the name of it, and I saw it a couple of years ago, and it's quite good. She's a very bright woman, and very headstrong. So when
I'll give it to her. She knows she's not a dummy, she's able to see through bullshit and stuff, but she's very superficial, very vain. But other than that, she has a lot of she's very talented comedian, vigorous at what she does.
Tom, she never held her punches when it came to describing other people.
Right. She was like the what's that guy's name?
George Carlin?
No, the other guy. He used to always make fun of people. He's still alive. He's like her age. Ron Pickles, or I forget his name.
Oh yeah, Don
Rickles.
Don Rickles. Yeah.
Don Rickles. Yeah.
Don Pickles. All right.
Don Pickles.
Yeah. So she came out, it was earlier this year, and she said that, right, where she said that Michelle Obama was basically a man, right, and she looked deadly serious when she said it. She didn't laugh afterwards, right, she just kind of matter-of-fact said it, right, to the reporters and said, come on, you got to be
we
a
all
fool.
know, like, so
that definitely, she stepped over the line, and when you fuck with the powers that be, they don't take that kindly, so maybe she etched her day. Maybe she didn't care anymore. I mean, and she's one of these people that I believe she lived in New York, and she would be at all these major galas and stuff, so she would meet everybody. She would know everybody, sort of thing, especially all the top comedians that are out there. And she was a workhorse, this lady. She was still doing gigs like 6 days a week. And I think even the day before she was on stage, basically, like the woman was just a workaholic, and she used to she would have all her jokes in filing cabinets, like thousands and thousands of jokes. She kept them, very organized. It's quite a talented, an excellent comedian, and she's 81, I think, right? So it's not like she's dying at 27. She's not joining the 27 club or anything like that. But the circumstances of her demise here, it looks like her almost all but certain death, are quite suspicious, especially considering the remarks she made about Michelle Obama.
Yeah, right, I mean, the timing. It's always, the timing with these things are always.
If you look at her too, how she conducted herself and her energy and her spunk, she didn't seem like she was in poor health. I mean, not at all. I mean, given her age, even it didn't seem. It seemed like she was.
You can't find poor health to be like she was and go.
Oh yeah, no.
Doing 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5 shows a day, sort of thing. I mean, it's up on stage, standing there, a lot of energy, a lot of physical work into the comedy. And Justin was here, and he's gone. But,
I want to take a question real quick.
Yeah.
I asked him.
Jen Jen from the chat room asked, or a bunch of people actually were asking about if anyone thinks that 9/11, if anything, is going to happen on 9/11.
I think it's a strong. We've covered this, yesterday, and we've been talking about that. So I think it's a strong possibility. Definitely. It seems that they can very much that they've been, fear mongering about that. And we see the numerology, and it's the 13th year, or 13th anniversary, so I think it's a strong possibility. But hey, it could happen anytime, But it seems like it'll happen soon, regardless.
Yeah, and you got those 11 commercial jetliners from Tripoli, the airport there. I guess the Islamic extremists suddenly stole 11 jetliners. So is this going to be 9/11 times 11? I don't know, but
well, to be times 11, they would need 44 planes. But it would be
Oh.
if of course you could say that they didn't have the planes and the planes.
Well, if you want to count actually no, it would be 22 because 11 times.
That's a lot of
Because you gotta go back to school, man.
only 2 planes hit. Only 2 planes hit. The other one, the Pentagon, we all know is a missile, and the
but if we were going by the official story, that is. And of course, the same thing would happen here if there was a massive false flag and it did involve these so-called 11 planes, which I don't buy for a second. If that did happen, it would totally be another staged thing, and it would be very similar in the sense that would the planes. Would they be military planes? Would they actually be planes? Actually, I don't want to get into that crap of 9/11 controversy and all. We won't go.
It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's an unending hole there. But
9/11.
The dark corner of YouTube. That's the dark corner.
I got another question. Not to cut anyone off, but did y'all hear about Obama's tan suit thing that happened? And they want to know if you think that has any significance at all.
No, I didn't hear.
I don't know.
He went to this press conference, and he normally wears dark suits, like really well tailored to his body. And he came to this press conference, in this just a tan suit, and the media went kind of like bonkers over it. They made another distraction, if you will. But they were asking if you think it has any significance to what's going on.
Yeah,
I mean,
the military colors.
It's the military colors. It was that tan color
Like
from the Gulf War.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's part of the whole psyop of getting ready for a war.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
They're beating the war drums with ISIS and.
Yeah, they really put the whole spectrum in there. They even have him dressed up in the desert-like war colors. They have the war propaganda. They do it all. They know every word is it's all down to the details. I mean, these people micro-analyze and micromanage how they're gonna brainwash us. And yeah, I think that's definitely a good point right there. The military colors.
Everything is calculated and designed to the T. Whenever Obama speaks and these people are speaking and they're on camera and what they say and how they present themselves, it's all planned and it's all very detailed. Like
I'll give you a perfect example, guys. You know the White House press secretary?
Yes.
The new one.
I know.
You know what his name is? His name is Josh Earnest.
Yeah, they just replaced him with Jay Carney.
Yep.
So just the name alone is
they replaced that guy 3 times now? The press secretary?
No, Jay Carney was in there for a good while.
Yeah, and before him was another guy. Obama's first guy. I think this is the third guy.
There's been 3 of them since Obama, though.
Oh yeah, they go through these guys and then they appear on CNN.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where they go after,
as an analyst.
Hey,
yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Now, Jeff. Speaking of what's his face, Duck Dynasty beard guy. They just had him on Hannity doing some ISIS fear mongering. He's all like, "Yeah, we gotta go kill him. We gotta go. There's only 2 ways we can convert him." And and save them, like their souls, like preaching
convert them or kill them.
The Christianity, and because he's Christian supposedly, but he's a fake Christian. Now he's saying we can save them or we can kill them, and sorry, but we gotta kill him. So he's like preaching. He's promoting the whole let's go get him, the whole thing on Hannity just recently. So
yeah, I think his exact words were convert them or kill them. So
yep.
Pretty savage.
And he's like, yep, we gotta kill him.
Yeah. So I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is.
So it's
a show for idiots that features idiots basically. I mean, people want to hear what they want. That's why they bring out Ted.
Well, remember how big of a distraction that was with the whole stupid Duck Dynasty thing. That was a whole psyop in and of itself.
They're all. I mean, anything that's like racially, like they go on and on about it. Of course, Ferguson being the latest, but of course Trayvon Martin. These gay.
That was a racist issue, right? It was a racism issue there. That
yeah, exactly. And what's his name? There's Donald Sterling, right? All these racial tensions. They're constantly strategy of tension, constantly driving people against each other, and they use these minor events, these staged events, often the case, right, to drive a wedge between people and keep the people fighting each other instead of focusing on the real fucking criminals that are in the White House and the Pentagon, right?
Exactly, yeah, exactly, man. And now, hey, I wanted to show you guys. Jeff, did you take a look? Have you heard about the Urban Shield website and having 9/11 on the clock on their banner?
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
what's the website?
Actually, I have it right here. I can share my screen. I'll do it right here.
I've got to give her one link.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'll put a link as well. Now, on Urban Shield, let me put the link down here for you guys first. Okay. Now, on Urban Shield, right here, Jeff, this website, here, right on the clock, on the banner, it's on 9/11.
Oh, of course.
And then actually, who covered this was Brave Dave's Discount Psyops. So shout out to you, brother. And on that, he covered the fact that
is that Brave Dave's militia? Is it the same guy?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. He's and then they have right here a picture of Statue of Liberty and a skull. It flashes, but 9/11 on the clock. I mean, what is that? Urban Shield event date September 4th. This is September 8th. Vendor show September 4th and 5th.
There's been a lot of people saying the date September the 7th could be the date that they use. It's really
the sevens, right? Remember the speech?
Absolutely.
IMF speech.
You can't forget these things because in hindsight, of course, if something did happen, we would quickly go back and dig up all the sevens that they said, right? So yeah, if they've got something coming, and the problem is. Ever since the last 9/11, people have been expecting another one, so we don't want to contribute to the fear-mongering and make people afraid of something is imminent. But nonetheless, we know that these false flags have been continuing at an accelerated even though they've been smaller ones than 9/11, but we know that they definitely do have another big one in the works. This is something that they've been coding to us for a long time, and it only makes sense because they sure as hell don't have the level of control that they want right at this moment. And they'll need something big like that to bring it in. So is it in the cards? We're the 13th anniversary. The significance, all the dates, Christine Lagarde talking about the 7th. Now we've got 11 planes that have gone missing. Are they telegraphing that they're going to do something? And who knows?
I just want to mention this. Sorry, Jeff, but when I covered, it was the Santa Barbara shooting. I think the second video, or the first video I did, I pointed out right away what I saw as strange coincidences, and the two numbers that kept popping up in the story right away were 7 and 11, and I actually Tattooed covered this too. Dutch Sins' buddy there, but. Yeah, it was 7/11 over and over again, all throughout the story, and even the videos that CNN were putting out were 7 minutes and 11 seconds long. So it seems to be two numbers right now that are very, very high profile. Whether it's the elites doing it on purpose, or as Paul J. Watson would say, it's Carl Jung, right?
Carl Jung. It's all Carl Jung, guys. Don't worry. Move along. Let's shut this down.
Yeah, isn't it hilarious?
I consider that as a possibility, but if you got Family Guy, doing this over and over and over again, more than twice. You got to think it's a coincidence. And then he was on, supposed to be on the Flight 11 on 9/11, 2001. It just, I mean, come on, that is not Carl Jung, guys. I mean,
Yeah, but he got drunk the night before and he slept in. And he said the good thing about alcohol, right? Even though his press secretary or his travel arranger gave a different story, saying that he gave him the wrong time, but it doesn't matter. Who cares, right? I mean, he missed the plane. The Duchess of Fergie there, the Duchess of York, or whatever the fuck she is, a Duchess of.
Yeah.
She missed the plane. Gwyneth Paltrow missed the plane. They all missed the plane. I'm just perfect. It's perfect.
And then,
Because now you can get all these people that missed the plane come and talk about my word. How awful is it, and how they seen their life kind of fly before them, and they feel humbled because they could have easily been amongst those people. Now, arrest those scumbags. Arrest them all. They're all part of it. There is no fucking doubt in my mind that asshole Seth Rogen of whatever, Family Guy. Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind that guy's in the inside. Forget about it. Are you kidding? You see the show that he put out the night before the Boston bombing happened, the American Dad, where the guy said, "You had a blast, I had a blast. Call the bomb squad." Are you kidding? You can't make that shit up. There's no way.
Just look at his face.
Even coincidences anymore.
He looks like a freaking rat. The guy. I mean, come on. He looks like a short, stumpy version of Mark Dice.
Yeah, he is. The Boston rat.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna hunt him down there, Tom. Teach him a lesson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. He lives around here too. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, guys. Did you guys see my screen when I was sharing the Urban Shield website? You saw the screen share? Like, I just wanted to make sure it was working.
Yeah, I was looking at it, and now I've clicked on the link itself, and yeah, of course, actually, it's not quite 9/11. It's actually, yeah, it is.
No, it is. It is.
No excuses.
Exactly 9/11.
And why would they do that? Why on earth? Well, you could argue that they're psychologically trying to make people paranoid. I mean, it's obvious that they're using 9/11 as psychological terror. And look at the whole sort of. I mean, like, what is the first thing you see above the clock? Well, it's a soldier wearing sunglasses,
blowing your brains out.
pointing an automatic weapon at your face, with almost like explosions coming out from behind the clock itself. If people are listening in the chat, it's urbanshield.org to check out this site. And
I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm zoomed in on it. Yeah, it is exactly 9/11. That is just blatant, and there is no reason. It's just insanity.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, come on. It's exactly on 9/11. There is no debating that. And I don't even know. It's, it could be just to scare people. I mean, I don't know, but usually when they do that,
subliminally scare you, of course. But again, we know that's
it's
what
in your
they do
face all the time.
When 9/11 comes around,
and in your face.
Hard hitting in your face, America.
What does it mean?
Guys, guys, make this video viral once it goes up.
Calm down,
Yes.
screen.
Yes. Do it now. Do it now. I noticed Chris's video. It's hilarious because he put out the video talking about the beheading and how horrible it was and all that. And I put up the comment saying it's fucking fake. I think it was the top comment on the video, right? And everybody's like, "Yeah, it's fake. I can't believe." Then of course Chris puts out a video saying, "And now they've come out and admitted that it was fake." Well, why didn't you say it in the first place? And that video that he put out went viral. It's got like 200,000 hits, and it's like, you don't deserve that attention. You didn't call it. What the fuck?
I'll never forget though the video, man. You just made it like a week ago. He's like, I'm literally shaking right now. I've got
goosebumps.
I've got goosebumps and I'm shaking. And
he was tripping out on something, LSD, I think.
Hey, Jeff, can you check your messages there on over there? I think you have a message. But
where? I check my messages.
Oh, okay. Hey,
sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Now, yeah, I mean that's sort of like it could be just another form of predictive programming, and it's just blatant. So, the Urban Shield thing right there. That's pretty freaky.
Oh yeah.
I think. But now, Press, did you put up any videos recently?
No, the last one I put up was that magnificent work of art that you made with the preview for our show.
Oh, okay.
The one on Sunday nights. Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering. Have you got a new video in the works today or soon or no?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing one about the 11 planes that were stolen. And just some of the information, just a general overview of what the deal is with that, because something very interesting, which I just find interesting, is these guys actually, the U.S. Embassy there in Libya, these Islamists, these extremists are like having pool parties there, and like everyone's partying. It's really weird. I don't know. It's strange, but. And then you got those planes being missing down the street, over there. So it's.
They don't seem to be worried, do they?
No, they're having pool parties, sailor diving into the pool, and all this stuff. It's so I don't know, but it's just I haven't really come to any certain conclusions because I try to stay away from predictions unless I have a real gut feeling of something very general, like in anticipation of more false flags or something like that, which I think
dangerous.
I think we're going to see more geopolitical false flags rather than the domestic ones. So I think that's on the horizon. And I don't know, 9/11 could be it, but sometimes they'll just change the game. They'll do it on 9/22 or something. You never know. So I don't want to make any predictions for 9/11, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, that's what all the propaganda is telling us and the numerology and stuff. So who knows? But yeah, I
think Jason Age. I think Jason Age is. I'm sorry.
No.
I think Jason Age just put out a video saying 9/11 end of the world maybe. Plans leaked or something like that. So you guys want to check that out?
End of the world maybe? I'm sure he put
I
maybe
think he
in
just
there.
put that out. Plans leaked. New World Order plans leaked for 9/11.
Oh yeah, plans leaked. Uh-oh. End of the world.
I'm just kidding, guys. I just made that up, but it's funny anyway.
Hey, everybody, we've got PK. He's joined us in the room. So
surprise guest.
Yes.
Hey guys.
What's going on?
What's happening, brother?
Sorry, I just joined. I just got in and started listening to your show because I wanted to pass on a video I just put up. You probably
What's
haven't had
the
a
video
chance to
you
see
did?
It's just me swearing 30 times in about a minute. That's about half what I normally do, but yeah, I'm feeling a bit sick, to be honest.
Oh, sorry,
have you had the chance to see Joe Biden's speech, guys?
Did he
No,
talk
that's what
about the New
people were
World Order?
saying. No, I didn't get a chance. People were saying.
The one where he was talking about ISIS today. I think he just did it.
Look, I don't know how you want to do it. The video only goes through. I talked for about a minute, then I put his minute and a half talk on. It's the most disgusting fucking thing I've ever heard and seen in my life. Look, I don't know what you want to do, guys. You can keep talking and someone could go watch it and come back and comment on it, or
No. Can you fill us? No.
Everyone listening and commenting right now, please go to my channel and watch the video. We all know who should be in hell, because you'll know what I'm talking about. Because right at the end, he talks about these people who are, the evil ISIS, whatever, should all rot in hell, and blah blah blah. But you've got to listen to this fucking thing, and the people behind him are clapping and cheering him. It is gut wrenching. When I say gut wrenching, it is the most fucking sickening thing I've ever heard. And
wow, is he wearing a tan suit by any chance?
no, he's just got his white shirt on. I think it's a white shirt. White shirt and tie, and he's got this woman behind him. That's all you see. She's the most ugliest fucker you've ever seen. I don't know if that's his wife, but it is a shocker. And he's got a couple of flags behind him. One's a false flag. It's got stars and stripes on it. I'm not sure what the other one is, but I don't know what you guys want to have a quick look at. Chrissy, have a quick look at it or something.
Well, why don't you just fill us in on it, PK?
Oh, look, I start off, like I say, I nearly dropped the C-bomb. My God, but I should have by now, because every comment that I've got on it has said the C word, and I should have said it, but he starts off talking about, obviously, the beheadings, and then would you believe he brings up Osama bin Laden, and then guess what? He brings in Boston bombing, and then he just says, they're all gonna go to hell, and the rousing reception he gets is just fucking.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he said something like that we were going to beat ISIS into the gates of hell. I think it's something like that.
Oh, guys, okay, hold on. To cut you off, PK. He said that we're gonna lead ISIS into the gates of hell, right, or something. That's what he said. Well,
something like that.
Okay, today I was informed that the Siri iPhone had today stating the gates of hell closed, or the gates of Hades closed today. So coincidence? Coincidence?
I didn't get it. No,
I think not. No.
Hey Watson, is that Carl Jung?
Carl Jung.
Can't make this shit up, guys. Jeff.
Yeah. Of course, the conspiracy theorist on YouTube.
The same figure comes into your house and robs it 5 times in a row. It's not the same guy. It's a coincidence.
So that's crazy. I just wanted to point out that connection that they said that the gates of Hades was.
That's how they do it, eh? They do it all the time. They're always coding this stuff. It always matches up. The dates line up. The rhetoric, everything, it's all calculated, it's all there. So yeah, maybe. I mean, it seems more and more that they're telegraphing that something big is going to happen. And of course, if you think about it, if you're American, what the hell on earth has ISIS ever done to you? You know?
Red Pill, can you click on that? Sorry,
Chris, you keep going, yeah.
Yeah, what's this?
Red Pill, can you click on the? It's the picture of someone took a picture of when Siri said the gates of hell would close, and they did say it does say September 3rd. So I just got a picture of it.
Guys,
take a picture. Where's the picture?
On the Google Hangout chat.
No, that's not it. It's you put a link for one.
Click the link. There's a picture on that link.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay, here it is. I'm going to share the screen. 1 second, guys. Bear with me.
Sorry.
Here we go. I was confused. I'm sorry. Okay. Here we go. Sunday. Well, we know about the Sunday, July 27th, opening gates of Hades, and now it's Wednesday, September 3rd, closing gates of Hades. So it's today, closing. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What were you saying, PK?
Yeah, I just got an email from Darbu, one of 500 that he videos he makes a day. No, I shouldn't joke. The guy's good. He's come up with a. Hang on, let me find it. Give me a second.
Yeah. So
he talks about what's going to happen on an ISIS attack that's been planned on 9/11, 2014. I can't remember. But if you want to check out his channel, there's some good stuff about a planned attack already. They've said that ISIS was going to attack on that day. But I just want to go back to last week's little chat, guys. I meant to tell you this. I know you were all excited about how you thought that because of yourselves and others that are brought out this beheading bullshit, and how the media, because of you guys, admitted it was fake. And you really got excited about it, and I didn't get excited whatsoever, because, to be honest, here in Australia, there's not been a word about it being fake. In fact, it's gone the other way. It's sort of even multiplied even more with this second supposed beheading, saying that the first one was absolutely real. And like I said to Chris in a comment before, there was only like one line in a whole page article on the rapper, supposed rapper guy. Right down the bottom, they said sort of like authorities think it might be fake, but of course the guy was killed, of course, time or whatever. But
we talked about
that's all we got, Jet. That's all we got, and you can ask anyone; they still believe it was real, and no matter what Mail Online or the Guardian have said on the internet, you will not see it on the TV screen.
We actually we talked about this when we started up the show, and I said that, despite the fact that a couple corporate media outlets came out and admitted that it was fake, that 99% of people still believed that it was real, and that, you know, the corporate media was still saying it was real. It was like, yeah, well, the video was fake, but they killed him. They killed him right after. They just staged the video. Of course.
Take our word for it. Take our word. We
yeah. We don't know. And even the experts that analyzed it, right, the so-called experts, right, who probably watched our videos, they said, well, we're pretty damn sure that the video was fake, but nobody's suggesting even for a moment that James Foley wasn't beheaded. Of course not. Of course. No. He was beheaded. They only faked the video because, I don't know. You tell me.
Guys, what makes you an expert? Who are these experts? Who are terrorist experts? You see, terrorist experts say it was Al Qaeda because someone got shot. Had all the hallmarks of Al Qaeda because he had a gun. And who makes anyone a terrorist expert? Who makes anyone an expert on this? Have you noticed all the comments you see from Obama and all these dickheads right now? They've authenticated. It's all authentic. The second one, it's authentic. It's 100% authentic. Why all of a sudden is it 100% authentic? I mean, who judges that bullshit?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter because they can say whatever they want. And
I think it was. I remember hearing. I forget where, but I think it was some British intelligence official that came out and started the whole meme that it was fake, or maybe it was a police department or something like that in Britain or something that came out and said that at first. So I think that's where it originated from.
You gotta love that word, intelligence. Are you fucking kidding me? Intelligence. What makes them intelligent? Guys, look, just Jeff.
Yep.
I just got a second strike. Is that real?
Yeah, that you're asking about my second strike?
Is that on the video, obviously, you just put out yesterday, where you said right from the start, I will not show any footage. It's in the description, and you just talked and maybe showed it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
What was the strike for? What was the reason? It wasn't shocking in
the strike is for being too awake and trying to alert other people. I mean, to put it as simple as possible, if you put up a video that is too threatening to the powers that be, they will just ban your ass real quick. So yeah, my account is completely suspended. I'm using another account. I can't even access my backup channels, and that's the way it's going. I mean, and everybody, as I said, we've been talking about it. Even Paul Joseph Watson, who put out his video today, was pleading with Google. Now, Google, please don't take this video down. I'm not going to show anything. And it's like, they put the fear into everybody with the James Wright Foley, banning all these accounts, pulling all these videos, so that people are like, okay, we're not going to put the actual video, we'll just analyze it. And even then, it's a threat to them, because no, you can't speak truth, you can't speak logic or critical thought on our platform. We're here for cupcakes and video games. I mean, that's what YouTube is.
We know that, Jeff. And Red Pill, you're taking a big risk by the video you just put up. I know how you started it.
I know.
Exactly what you did, but that's going to be chopped off. You know that.
Let me ask you, Red Pill, though. Did you leave a link for the actual video in your description?
No.
All right. Well, did you, Jeff?
Yes, I did.
That might be why they justified it to themselves, at least. I don't know. But
look, I only left links to articles. That's it.
Right.
Hey,
right. Yeah,
guys, right. Police State Radio is with us. How you doing, Aaron?
Not bad, sir. I'm late.
Better late than never.
I'm always late.
So Jeff, the only vision of this second one that I've seen, it was that link. It was, I don't know, it was a German or Dutch article. Is that the only one that you've seen?
That's where I found it.
Yeah, I looked everywhere, and I was able to find it eventually. And I've actually found it on a couple different sites, but it was the same video, and it was the same thing. It was edited. And
yeah, it's the exact same video as Foley, like to a T.
Yeah, and I'd like to see other people take that video and analyze it to find out if it indeed was done at the same time as the Foley video, because the sky looks very similar. It looks like a little bit of a different angle that they're showing.
It is.
And
Jeff.
also, there's no sound of wind hitting the microphone, and stuff like that. And yet it's very windy out, right? And just things like that are really.
It was done on the same day, guys. We all know it was done on the same day. The guy who's got the knife, he hasn't even got he has 3 changes of clothing, does he? But no blood on his clothing.
Those white shoes that he wears.
Even after they saw this guy up, another guy comes kneeling afterwards. Right?
Who is this guy? Who is this third guy that no one knows about? And they got 7 more apparently.
Yeah.
I want to know who's been feeding these guys for the last 2 years. Who's been doing their wardrobe with spotless orange suits? Do they supply them with jocks? Do they supply them with the shoes? Do they supply them with their haircuts? The big question I do ask: ISIS wasn't heard of 2 years ago. ISIS wasn't even mentioned 2 years ago. This guy was kidnapped 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden, 2 years ago ISIS weren't in Syria. So 2 years ago he was kidnapped in Syria. How the fuck is he in ISIS hands now when they weren't even heard of when he was kidnapped?
That was what I made that video about, because they said, he was captured by Bashar al-Assad and now he's with ISIS.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense at
Because
all.
it doesn't matter. They make it up as it goes along. I mean, what does it matter? They could change the entire story tomorrow, and nobody would, we would put out our videos saying, look, they just changed their entire story. They're liars. The rest of the corporate media would just go ahead and run with it. Bullshit.
Guys, they're funding ISIS. They're funding ISIS in Syria, and yet they want to attack them in Iraq. How can you have one without the other? How can you fund one mob in Syria and then in Iraq say that they're evil and we want to destroy them? It's
exactly how it works, though. It's always worked that way. The drug war, that's the biggest farce ever.
Yeah,
The drug war of the 90s, where it's like, George Herbert Walker Bush getting up and saying that we're gonna fight these terrorists, the drug terrorists, right, that are bringing in this.
Yeah.
What were they doing? No, they were shipping in the drugs. The CIA was flying them in every single day, fucking hundreds of kilograms.
Remember Noriega, man? He was their best dope dealer, man.
Noriega worked for the CIA, and then all of a sudden he didn't do what they wanted him to do, so he becomes the bad guy.
That's why we run all the poppy fields now, and everywhere in the Middle East.
Yeah, right.
That's what all of them.
In fact, all those that's one of the things that people don't realize about Afghanistan, because they think, well, Afghanistan, that's where the 9/11 terrorists came from. No, actually, they all came from Saudi Arabia, if you go by the actual people that they claim to have brought down those towers, which is complete fiction.
Yeah, most of those weren't even.
But Afghanistan, of course, produces 90% of the world's opium. And guess where all that opium's going? Aside from United States and the Western countries, it's going directly into Russia, straight through Kazakhstan, and it's affecting. Yeah, and it's
flooding Iran too.
Yeah, and if you guys want to hear something very interesting, the production of opium rose 55% in 2013, and then we had I believe, 65% increase here in the Northeast in overdoses this year so far in 2014. So it's a direct correlation. The production increases, and then all of a sudden, the very next year, subsequently, the usage and the overdose rate increases in America, especially in the Northeast. That's the main target. But yeah,
does it tie in with the pharmaceutical companies? Because people get hooked on all these pain pills, and it's cheaper just to go out and buy heroin.
Yeah,
so
that's how they
buy heroin.
Because a lot of a lot of people, especially younger folks, they don't. There isn't as much of a stigma around pills. People are learning, though. Even society is sort of learning that it's real bad. But at first at least, and still right now, people think of pills as well. People get prescribed pills. They must be okay. Of course, these are brainwashed people. Yeah, exactly. And then eventually they run out of money because they got to spend all their money on pills, so they go to heroin because it's a lot cheaper and a lot more potent. So that's how they do it.
Exactly. The whole thing, it's such a charade. That's why it's almost the opposite. Whatever they say, it's the opposite, right? We're going into Afghanistan to get Osama bin Laden, take out the Taliban. No, you're going in there to take over the fucking opium trade and all the resources and put pipelines and shit like that. There's so much bigger reasons behind everything that they do. And it's such a devious, nasty game. That's why, like when you get these assholes like we were talking about before, hey, the Duck Dynasty guy, he's appeared again. Guess what he's doing? He's saying we have to go after those ISIS guys. We have to go and carpet bomb them, or whatever the fuck he was saying, right? This is how they play people. They got people hooked to movies. The news is a fucking movie. It's a fucking story. It's manufactured, and it's there to convince you to, send your children, to send your money to support the fucking tyrants that run our governments.
Yeah. Question.
Go ahead.
Chrissy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chrissy.
Sorry, my mic was off.
Yeah,
my mic was off.
I noticed you make a lot of comments with all the other people who were listening to this. I went through it last week. And how can you actually do that while you're actually talking on air? Can you tell me quickly?
What do you mean? How do I do it?
How are you so talented, Chrissy?
Actually, sorry.
No, not just you. I actually want to see the comments as I'm talking now. But I can't. You must.
What you have to do here, I'll give you the link. You just have to open up YouTube, and then open up the chat, and just put it on mute, and put it on pause.
Oh, okay. That's what put on mute.
Oh,
okay.
I thought he was literally asking you, how do you do it? Like, how do
that's
I
what I thought too.
know that as well. Guys, I got an update on my flying lessons.
Oh, how are they going? Did you get a building picked out?
Miserably. I crashed. I put the plane in reverse. I thought it was going forwards, but it went in reverse, and it somersaulted 4 times, and the wings all fell off. But they said I've got the job.
Yeah, you're perfect, man.
Yeah.
So, anyone got any accommodation for me while I come to America in the next few days?
It's been along with all of us.
Yeah. Hey, PK, I really loved the secret blowjob at the Boston bombing. That video was freaking hilarious.
I saw that title, and I was drinking, I spit my water out when I saw the title of that video.
I keep going back to look at the title of it, because the title alone is just gold.
Well,
secret blowjob.
I didn't know what to call the title. And just while I'm here, I'd like to thank Plasma Burns. You're all aware of Plasma Burns, who's sort of...
Absolutely. Great.
He's not making any video, but, I've had a lot of help from Plasma over the time I've started Boston. He has had a collection of photos and videos that's been a great help to me. And we haven't spoken for a while, but he sent me that photo a couple of days ago, and he virtually said, he called it secret blowjob, and I thought, I'll make a quick video of it. So thanks, Will. Will is his name, or Plasma. We still love you, mate. You're a buddy. But what I failed to mention in that video was that fucking bonehead Costello, he apparently had pig grafts on his right arm, and if you look at it, there's not a fucking scratch on it. So I should have really mentioned something there, but like in making videos, you guys, as soon as you put it on YouTube, you realise that you should have said something else about it, and you think, fuck it, I'll do it next time. But anyway, have a look at that photo. That dirty piece of fucking shit. He's got not a mark on his arm, but he supposedly had pig skin or grafts put on it. They must have taken it off his fucking face. Anyway.
No, it was a great video, man. And Police State Radio. By the way, everybody, Police State Radio again just came in. He came in a little late, but
he was here before.
Yeah. What happened to Ottawa Expositor?
I don't know. He didn't come on?
He popped on for a second, then he left.
No, I thought you guys were going to be together.
I communicated with him through Skype, and he's having problems. So he said he said that Aaron was busy and he couldn't have folks over tonight, so that he couldn't get through. But yeah, he's whatever. He's wandering around Montreal. So he's
wandering. He's definitely wandering. Okay.
Yeah, he's checking out all the babes.
Yeah, he's good. He's checking out.
Don't worry about him, Bug.
Checking out the Montreal babes.
He's listening to us, by the way. So Justin, don't let us interfere with your babe hunting.
You have a good time.
Hey, Aaron. What have you got going on, brother? Did you notice anything today that caught your eye that you wanted to add, man?
Just been looking at this new beheading video and how ridiculous that is, and what CNN is saying about it.
You're getting caught up on that, yeah.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah,
they're hailing him. This guy that what's his name again?
Salah.
Stephen. Yeah, they're hailing him as a hero. even though he called out Obama.
And
Yeah,
they
I
want you to
Give it to
hate. They want people to hate the United States, and that's one of the reasons why
That's
they
right.
put those. They code those messages into
Yeah,
their
that-
speeches
That's
because
what
they
this-
want to kill patriotism, and they're trying to do it in all these different ways. Of course, having all the illegal immigrants come in, all the propaganda through the television, but they really do. I mean, and it's hilarious to think you're gonna die, right? If this is the truth, right? And that's going out on a fucking real shitty limb to suggest that there's any truth whatsoever. But if these guys were actually gonna die, and they're like,
Yeah.
we're gonna cut off your head, and
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
"No,
here."
fuck you,
Right,
you fucking
right
your
back.
mothers are,
I know he's lifting up his neck to make it easy. His head,
yeah,
But
he's,
again,
Gotta give it to him. His
Yeah.
speech was absolutely fucking spotless. There was
Yeah.
not a or a ha or a it was just perfect.
One
No
take.
actor in the world could have done that under the stress of having your head cut off. He didn't
Yeah,
even drop a bead of sweat.
I
It was
know.
just, unless they took the cut it about 20 times or 100 times, but it was beautifully spoken. And for a guy that's going to have his head cut off, my God, he sounded fantastic, didn't he? And you notice there's no bloody resistance.
I
to a
would get
guy-
up and run. I would get up. I mean, if your legs aren't shackled, I'd get up and run. I mean,
Well, they didn't shoot at
I'd be
you.
chewing the guy's fucking leg off. Or I'd be doing anything. I'd turn my head around and
Bite
fucking
his
bite
arm.
him.
exactly.
I'd do anything.
And any animal would. Any animal in a situation that could defend itself would. So
But
the
Jeff,
fact that
You're
Yeah.
not an expert, mate. You're not an expert. You reckon it's fake. The experts think it's real.
that's right. Well, actually, no, they thought the first one was fake, but of course they did kill him after. See, they only faked the video because they wanted to make it look professional and they wanted to make it look like a Hollywood movie. And Hollywood movies usually don't show the awful gore. They leave it to the imagination. I don't know. It's so ridiculous.
All right, answer me this question.
Hey,
I just
Pete,
got an MH17 and the fucking idiots here, our government, made a big hoo-ha that we want our bodies back. You know what I just read last night? Because it's all been quiet, hush-hush, about the bodies and the funerals. There was a big deal. They eventually got their idiots in there, supposedly. But apparently only half of the 292 bodies have been recovered or identified. But we know that's all fucking bullshit. But the question is, has anyone asked to see or to obtain the body of Mr. fucking Foley and now this guy? Has anyone asking to have their body taken back? Because, the Geneva Convention, whatever have you, I mean, they have the right to get the body back when someone gets killed, that no matter who you are. I have not heard one single person ask for the body. We want to see this fucking headless chook walking around, if it's for real.
Yeah, that's it. But it doesn't matter to their story because they figure like the mainstream watching people that watch all this crap have an attention span of a housefly, basically, right? So all they got to do is traumatize them and then move on to the next story. And guess what? We got another guy that's going to be beheaded. And he's in an orange jumpsuit as well, and he's in the same desert, and it looks like the same time of day. And guess what? It's Jihadi Johnny. He's behind him there, and he's going to cut his head off, and he's got
Can you believe they actually, with the first article I read, they said experts think that the guy that did the beheading could have been the same guy as the first one. They think.
Oh.
You don't say.
They said that on CNN. Yeah.
Experts.
Yes. Hey, PK, someone's asking in the chat if you're related to Chopper, whatever that means.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Chopper. Do you know who Chopper is?
Mm-mm.
No.
Well,
No.
he must be an Aussie. Who asked that?
I can't. I lost him in chat. He asked that in chat. Someone asked him.
I am Chopper.
Yeah.
Dirty Hansen asked.
I'll tell you who Chopper is. He's a guy that I think he murdered someone here in Australia, in my state actually, many years ago. We're going like 20 years ago. he was convicted, and he got jailed in prison for I don't know how many years, but he's out now. He's written books, and he's.
They made a movie about him, did they not, PK?
Yes, they made a movie about him. He actually bit someone's ear off.
You gotta see that movie. That movie's hilarious.
I think he cut his own ears off. I'm not sure, but I think he cut his own ears off while in prison. But he's now that he's out, he's apparently he's a legend. Everyone loves him. But sorry, I actually did meet. Or when I say met him, I stood beside him in a pub a few years ago. But that's as close as I've come to looking like Chopper or being Chopper. So, no.
Chopper.
By the way, I'm not Jungle Surfer. I had many people making comments that I'm Jungle Surfer, or I look like Jungle, not look like, but sound like Jungle Surfer. I don't know if you know who Jungle Surfer is.
Yeah. Yeah, I know who Jungle Surfer is. Yeah.
He's the one that Betsy McGee and a few others attacked with this or whatever.
Yeah.
They had a bit of a dispute, but I've lost contact with him. It goes on a bit. I mean, it means well, like all truthers, they mean well, but it got a bit too much because every second word was hoax, and it was driving me fucking mental. He's the Aussie version of Max Malone. Everything is a hoax. So like you said, Jeff, 95% of things aren't hoaxes, but they just want to...
Dude, that is perfect.
I've only got one thing to say. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt.
Hey, PK, that's perfect, man. That's a perfectly put. He's the Aussie version of Max Malone. Perfectly put. Hey, but you know what? I like the guy though. I like the guy still. He's funny.
Well, apparently he lives out in the jungle somewhere, and he
surfs in the jungle. He apparently surfs in the jungle somewhere, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know how you could surf in the jungle, but anyway, good luck. But just to quash those rumours, I am not Jungle Surfer. I mean, people have seen my face a few times now, and I don't really look like him. I hope I don't look like him. I mean, anyway, I'm not saying he's ugly or anything, but I just don't look like him.
Yeah, you don't look like him, but you may sound like him, maybe.
To you Americans who have an accent, you might think that we Aussies all sound alike.
Yeah.
No, there's different Australian accents.
We don't have an accent.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah. No.
We
I don't have one either.
I don't either.
It's all you Americans and Canadians that sound alike,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't sound alike. I sound crazy.
Hey, a lot of my subscribers think me and well, at least they think I'm Canadian, and a few ask if Red Pill was Canadian too, and I'm like, no, we're Americans.
Yeah, there's a few people that think that everyone in here is Canadian. I don't know why.
They all want to be Canadian. That's
oh yeah.
Well,
right, Aaron?
We have a lot of Canadian truthers with us, man. All you guys. I mean, there's a lot of you guys.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's
good, man. It's good stuff.
Not complaining.
Yeah. I think.
You gotta love. I mean. Yeah, I love Canada.
Canada. I think we can classify Tom, Press Reset Earth, as what was it? A meathead? Yeah. Yes.
Ah, yes, a meathead.
That's it.
Oh shit.
He's our Boston meathead.
Yeah. USA. Marshall.
I live not too far from Bionic Dan too, and he's a meathead, so.
Bionic Dan. Can you do me a favor? Can you go toilet roll his house?
Yeah, no problem. No, because now if I do, I'll be caught, right? Because I just said it publicly, but.
Oh yeah.
So that's out of the cards now. You should have asked me privately.
I know it's over. Sorry.
Yeah, it's over.
Hey Tommy, been to the gym today? How the fags going?
No, not today actually. No.
Anyone got any Anderson Pooper pictures there?
Don't show those to Tom, all right?
Don't show those to Press Reset. He'll get a little excited.
The silver fox.
Silver fox.
Post one up so I can see it again. I want to see it again, please.
Again, for those of you that don't know, last week, I think it was last week.
Yeah, it was last week.
No, it was our
when
we had PK on last time.
Was that the time that Tom declared his love for Anderson Cooper?
Yeah.
Yes, he declared his love. He said that Anderson Cooper
Y'all
was
get
hot.
muted. Aww. They got muted. Too bad, because you know what? I didn't say that. I said specifically. I just said that all these anchors are, meant to be good-looking people, and I named some women, but I also named him, and they get on my. I didn't mean it like that, though. I didn't mean it like that. I mean, come on.
We're just busting his balls.
We're just kidding with him, guys. So yeah. But just so you guys know, it is on the last episode on video.
Please go listen. Sure.
No, don't listen to it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Anyways,
Case closed.
Anyways, guys, audience, any questions here? We're gonna be wrapping up soon. If you guys have any other questions, and if anyone else has some relevant points or issues to bring up before we close out here. Now, I am afraid of getting my video censored, so hopefully my video I just uploaded isn't censored. Jeff, I hope people can get the word out about the censorship that you're down, and you're not going to be able to upload videos for 2 weeks.
We can't live in fear, and we can't allow that sort of censorship to affect our work. I mean, we have to take it into consideration, but nonetheless, we are where we are because of the balls that we have, right, to be able to take on these things. So I think it's important for us not to allow this kind of stuff to dissuade us.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned in my video, that not gonna let that make me back down, and we have to expose this censorship. So I'm hopefully, like I said, I put it up, and hopefully they don't censor me as well. I mean, I did my best.
Red Pill?
Say that again.
Have you got any strikes on your channel?
I am fresh and clean at the moment.
I've got one from this pile of bullshit, and I'm not going to risk another one because I've been suspended for 2 weeks twice already. And
yeah. I was going to say, you think? I mean, should I remove it? I don't know. I'm thinking.
No, I think you're good. No, don't remove it. Definitely not. No.
But here's the thing: if I get anything wrong with my channel, I mean,
we can't do the show.
Anymore. We
can't. We can still do the show. It's not.
I mean, we can, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'll be all set. I honestly think they try to find anything they can find to get you the strike, and if you have it in your video description, they're gonna get you for it. So I think that might have something to do with it, because anybody can go into that description and click on it, and I think they might use that as a justification. So if you don't have that, I think you're all right. But hey, you never know, right?
I know. I'm just.
Yeah. Jeff, what did you call your video? Because it's pretty important what you put on your title that affects.
I use the press reset Earth. Title.
Yeah, I know.
No, I mean not just Tom.
Busted.
I put 100%. I didn't put 100%. I put what did I put? I said.
You said 100% busted.
You did say 100%.
Even Stotlov beheading hoax completely revealed. 100% busted. I think that was what it was called.
Yeah.
The problem, guys, with making a video, I'm not sure how the tags work, because I just throw in everything I can in there, and I assume that when someone types a word and it imagines that something in my tag, that's where they get a look at. But the thing is, you want to attract the people to watch your video, but you don't want to make it too big to actually be attracted to the YouTube bloody spies. So in a title, you're better off just calling it something like I did in the Biden one. I really wanted to put his name on and everything. I just call it "We Know Who Should Go to Hell," and so no one's from YouTube actually going to see my title and say, "Well, fucking hell, that's James Foley or Joe Biden that we don't want you to talk about." So it's sort of a two-way thing there.
What we could, like, what I think hopefully that comes out of this is that I'm hoping enough alternative channels report on my channel being suspended for posting that video, even though it had nothing in it. And to show that that's almost the bigger issue is that you can't have freedom of speech on YouTube. That if you get into an area that is too controversial, they'll just shut you down.
Well, sorry.
Go ahead.
On NPR this morning, they had a segment, and they're just talking about in general, pretty much whether or not it should be okay to censor any kind of ISIS-related coverage or material on, U.S. News, online, anywhere. They had a whole segment about just censoring anyone and everyone just for posting anything about it.
When we think about it like this, okay, if you guys want to think about it like this, if we go back in history, we go back to the Iran-Contra affair or the Cold War, or whatever, the Iran-Iraq War, all these different historical events that happened, there was never, ever a online community that would dispute. I mean, it didn't exist, right? So we're in uncharted territories in the sense that we are literally on the vanguard of challenging the official rhetoric of our nations, right? So the New World Order, essentially. So if the New World Order's plan is to have a massive false flag, and they've been telegraphing it, and ISIS is going to be behind it, and it's going to be the reason for invading Syria, right, for toppling Bashar al-Assad, and then eventually going into Iran, we are in a new territory where we're actually, it didn't exist before. There was nothing to stand up. When they went 93, when they went into the Middle East, and you went into Kuwait, right, and had the invasion and all that.
Yeah.
91, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the 93 World Trade Center. 91, okay, and then all these different events that have happened since then, and then right up to 2001, the two towers coming down, and then eventually the birth of the internet, and then Building 7 and stuff like that coming out, and this whole truther movement picking up steam. There never existed what exists right now. So we are the media critics. We're the people that take the stories from the media and try to cut through them and expose them for what we believe they are. And we know that they lie to us all the time, so we're able to really analyze their stuff and rip it apart. And we're dangerous because of that. We are. And we have to realize the more success we have, the more the bullseye is going to be on us. So the more successful you have a video, and it's the conundrum, because like PK's saying, I could have put the title Foley beheading, is it real, or something like that, probably would still be up, right?
I'll tell you something, Jeff.
Yep.
These people who are doing these, all these things, false flags, or all this shit that's going on, they purposely make a shit fucking job of it and make it obvious that they're fake, knowing full well, because they rub this in our noses, they make it so activists like us can come out straight away and make videos and say, look, this is a hoax, it's obvious. They rub it in our faces and they sit back and laugh, because you know why? Because 95% of the masses, no matter how fucking obvious it is, they will still believe it, because like you said, the attention span is about the size of a fucking blowfly. But exactly, it wouldn't matter, Jeff. Like, I hate to say it, not saying that all what you're doing, what I'm doing, what everyone else is doing is going to waste. We are awakening a very, 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 very small percentage of people. The awakening has to fucking be a millionfold at the rate it's going for anything
but
to happen.
It won't be, though, because
people look, Jeff, people that look at your videos and my videos, that 5,000 subs, whatever you have and I have, 95% of them are going to be the same ones every time. We might capture new ones now and then, but they're going to be the same people who are awakened. Right now, we're the awakened ones. Right now, the ones making comments are the awakened ones, but fuck me. The 99% of idiots could not give a continental fuck.
But that's the negative sort of viewpoint. But I'll give the can I give the positive viewpoint? I can say this without a fucking doubt. I can say there's no time in the history of humanity where average people with average incomes and just regular people could actually stand up and oppose the propaganda of the state, right? And this is the only time that it's happened, I mean, significantly. And you can go throughout history and nobody, I mean, they have been playing us for years. They played us, ever since they had television, and before that they had movie theaters, right? So they controlled everybody. They were able to get everybody in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, you name it, right? But now we're at a point where we can actually have a platform where we could challenge what they're saying. what that means is not that we're going to get all the views, we're not going to get all the people. That's true. That's not going to happen, not overnight at least. What that means is that people that are questioning what is happening are going to find us, because they'll put in the search, they'll look for other people that don't believe the story, and it means that all of a sudden they have all these other people that, hey, these people don't agree with it either, and these people are making videos or making blogs on the internet, and they're releasing all this important information. So we have to really look at the positive in many ways. No. Just listen for. Let me finish. If you just for a second here. If you think about it, in many ways, CNN is done, right? CNN is already, they're axing 550 jobs. The corporate media is tumbling. They're desperately trying to adapt to what has happened. And of course, the alternative media has been exploding. Of course, what we see is in a pseudo-alternative media where we get the dumb turds and RT and Democracy Now! Who aren't truth tellers. They are people that will manipulate you and gatekeep you, basically. But then you have us coming up and pulling up, and we're all gaining traction. We're all getting more people following us. So I think it's amazing what we've been able to accomplish in the years since 9/11. And I think we should really think positive about the ability to reach people. We never had this ability before. I mean, you're in Australia, you're in Melbourne, I'm in Montreal. I mean, we're on opposite sides of the world, literally, and yet we're here and we're having a live conference, and we have all these like-minded people from other parts of the world taking part. It's tremendously positive, and my door isn't being kicked down right at this moment. Not yet, at least. So as long as it's not being kicked down, fuck them. Let's do our shit. And we know that we're good at what we do, and we know that we're making a difference. And it might be a small difference right now, but that difference can be exponential for every person that listens to us. You talk about music, because I know you're a big fan of music. People talk about the Velvet Underground, right? And the Velvet Underground never sold like millions of albums or anything like that, but everybody that heard the Velvet Underground went out and formed a band. And that's what we're trying to do. We're the punk rockers of of news, basically. We're the people that are out there saying, fuck this shit, fuck Wolf Blitzer, fuck, Peter Mansbridge, fuck all these assholes. They're all full of shit. They're all reading teleprompters. We're here. We're going to cut through that shit, and we're going to analyze it and break it down and try to give you what it really is. So I think there's a tremendous positive.
I hear what you're saying, Jeff. I hear what you're saying. The only way people are going to awake is when the shit hits a fan, and it hits their fan on their doorsteps. When World War III, which is imminent, you can bet your balls on it in the next, it could be any week, 2 weeks, unless it happens on their doorstep, people could not give a fuck about what's happened in the last 10, 15 years since 9/11. They couldn't give a fuck about Boston, Sandy Hook, beheadings. Unless the big war happens, that's when the zombies will come out and start hopefully protesting or doing things about it. Like protests have happened over the years, and the establishment couldn't give a fuck if 10 million people protest and walk down the streets of Washington. They couldn't.
They do.
But you're not allowed to protest anymore, Jeff. In Australia, if you protest, you're fucking regarded as a terrorist now, and you get imprisoned. Ever since John Lennon died, since they killed him, there hasn't been a decent bloody war protest there ever since those days, since late 70s. But like I said, I get at what you're saying. The only way for people to wake up is they smash their fucking TVs, all get a PC, and all started listening or watching videos or watching shows like this. But until then, they're just going to be glued into.
We're giving them something real. That's the big fucking difference. We're giving them something real that they can hold on to. It's called the truth, and it's objective. It's not subjective. The truth is objective.
It sounds great. Hear me out. It sounds great. But I go everywhere I walk. People don't give a fuck. They just want to read the paper and turn on the 6 o'clock news. You cannot. If you mention the word internet, they fucking look at you like you're an idiot. When you say something that the first question they come back with is, and who told you that? And of course you're going to say, well, I got it on the internet where I get all my research. then they just laugh hysterically and say you're a fucking idiot. How do you believe anything that comes off the internet? Like the internet is the big bullshit fucking, you know, media propaganda. That's the mentality of people on this planet.
It's a further conditioning that
there's another factor that everyone is missing, though. Throughout history, there's always been 80% of the people that just went along with everything else. So I think it's more right now, it's more of a battle between us, you know, the grassroots people on the ground here on YouTube, etc., versus the elites, and we're really battling for the collective consciousness of those 80%, because everything depends on that. And sure, they're just going to go along with it, but whoever ends up prevailing in the end is going to end up prevailing in the end, right? And you know, it's important because it's important to understand, though, what Jeff was saying, that we've never had so much potential throughout history.
I gotta say something very important, if I may, Chrissy, just before you come in with your thought, because this is extremely important. I want people to know this. I want you to understand, everybody that's listening here, they are fucking worried about us. They are extreme. Why do you think they're censoring me? All right? Why do you think they're shutting down channels left, right, and center? Why do you think they threaten us and all this? It's simple. They're afraid of the awakening. They are afraid. And you can go back. You can look on YouTube. Zbigniew Brzezinski in 2010 gave a speech in Montreal, and he talked about the awakening. He said, we've never in the history of the world encountered what is happening right now. We have no way to understand how powerful it could be. It's unprecedented in human history. He was talking directly about the awakening and the internet and the ability to share information at lightning speed. So we have tools right now that no other people before us, common people, ever had. No other common people could go out and reach people around the world and have millions of views. I have millions of views. Corbett was talking today. He said I had 20 million views. I have over 6 million views. Red Pill's right up there. PK's got millions of views. Press Reset's got millions of views. Can you imagine that? If you were growing up before the internet and you were thinking, one day millions of people would have listened to me, you would never have thought that. So we're only scratching the surface of what we can do. Of course, we're right now at the mercy of the platforms, right? And I'm a living proof of how those platforms completely control the dissemination of our information. But yet we have an opportunity to grow beyond that and come together and bring all these people with us. And we are waking up people. Every day there's more people coming to our channels. Every day I get more subscribers. I don't get less, you know. So there's so many positives, dude. We have to look at
that's what I was going to say.
There's been a poll done in America about going to war, and I heard it was over 60%. Some even said 80%. Come on, Jeff. Are people awakening?
What I was going to say, though, is the fact of the matter is that we got to think we're people who were awakened, and just the fact of the matter that we are here and that we think this way. There's other people. And it's a matter of reaching them.
Every single person is reachable at a certain time, and we don't need to have World War III to wait. That's too late. I mean, World War III happens, forget about it. It's done. I mean, we're going to have to just roll with the punches and, you know, adapt to whatever's going on. But right now, what we can do is just focus on the events. I mean, we've had battles about this. We've had, you know, people fighting each other over in this truth community about how to approach these things. Some people want to say everything's fake, and that you have to tell everybody all the time that everything's fake and all this. No, I don't agree with that, but that's what some people believe. So let them do what they want to do. What we can do is take little events, take these events like Red Pill has done, for instance, with the Uzi gun shooting there with the 9-year-old. Take these events, break them down, show why, show the inconsistencies, show the things that don't add up, plant that seed of doubt, and every day we get more people following us. I know we're not competing with the big channels here on YouTube, but they're garbage anyways. I mean, Ray Williams Johnson's worth a piece of crap, all right? And that's fucking serious, all right? So all these people that got tens of millions of subscribers, fuck them. They don't deserve that. That's done by that's design. They want people in those dumb channels. They want people filtered off the Vsauce? What if the moon was a disco ball, right? The stupidest things ever. They want people to obsess themselves with utter trivialities and not analyze what is going on right in front of them. And all we have to do is take these events one at a time, like we've done with Sandy Hook. Such an amazing job with Sandy Hook. Anybody that spent 5 minutes researching Sandy Hook knows it's fake, knows there's no way, it's bullshit, right? And that's how we're winning, because I can tell you, PK, I can tell everybody in this room, I can tell you how many people, including Justin, who's listening right now, said that, you know, people like myself woke them up on issues like Sandy Hook or the Boston bombing, right? So look at the positive. We never had this ability before. It didn't exist. You're kidding? You have you think that when you were 5 you would have had a channel that would have reached millions of people?
Another thing we got to understand though is back throughout history, all these revolutions, anyone that wanted to change the world, even a group of people that wanted to change the world, they always needed funding from the elites only because they had no other outlet. They had no other platform. They didn't have money. If anything ever rose from the grassroots, the only way it could ever explode into the actual civilization, they needed money, 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 money. Now, all you need is like $80 for a mic, and you can be on YouTube making videos, and you can reach millions and millions of people. So
you get a mic for like $5.
Yeah, I got
my mic, but it'll work, you know.
Your phone. You have a phone. Everyone has a phone.
It all makes sense. We know everything that Jeff says is spot on. We all know, but you just got to look at this. I'll just make this observation. World War II. What happened after World War II? What was formed? You tell me, just quickly. What was formed after World War II?
The United Nations.
You're right. United Nations. The United Nations was there so that there would be no more wars after the greatest war in history. It was so we could have diplomatic, whatever debates, whatever. Do it, you know, without wars. Fucking hell! How has that worked? There's been more wars than you can imagine.
That's because it's by design. The United Nations was just the predecessor to, or the thing that came after the League of Nations. They had the League of Nations.
No, it came
by the Bangsters.
It came after the Nazis and the communists. It was
exactly.
If we think
the communists and Nazi brass.
If we think this way that we can't do, like, you know, stuff is one way and we're fucked, then, you know, what's the point in doing any of this? I think you have to think about that too. Like, there's obviously a point in doing this.
Guys, I'm not saying. Look, I'm not doing this because I fucking love doing it. I'd rather be doing a million other things, but don't get too.
Come on, you're great at what you do, man.
Jeff, let me talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Come on, mate, because this second half is my program. All right. Listen. Look, no one ever fucking says anything against the United Nations. Everyone seems to think, you know, when there's a crisis, send in fucking Ban Cow, fucking Moo Cow, whatever his name is, and he'll fucking. But no one. Who are the idiots that go on the United Nations board? We know for a fact that the fucking criminals who are ex-prime ministers here somehow get on there, like our last prime minister, fucking Julia lesbian Gillard. But the other thing, guys, is every fucking government on this planet is fucking criminal and corrupt. Yeah. You just got to look at none of this bullshit that Russia is bad and America's good. Russia is in on the game as well. Putin is in on the whole game with this MH17. They're just playing the cards till they get the timing right so they can fucking eliminate 1 billion people, because, you know, we only want 500 million people on this planet. It's going to be a part of it, but our government, I'll just tell you the story, what fucking, only a few weeks ago, this fucking scumbag of a prime minister, but it doesn't matter, like prime minister, like this fucking idiot beheading, he points, Obama, this is at you, Obama, like he's the fucking be all and end all. Obama wouldn't know what that fucking day it was, but just like our puppet prime minister, you know, he apparently went to America 3 or 4 months ago to meet Obama, but he doesn't meet Obama. He probably goes and meets the backyard boys, the military guys that were saying, listen, guy, you're just going to fucking start flexing your muscles a bit. We're going to have a bit of a break here. So where do we pull this Malaysian bullshit off? I want you to get on the front foot and make out how strong Australia is. So this idiot gets out and he puts sanctions on Russia, like Russia couldn't give a fuck about Australia and its fucking imports. but you know, we're so tough, Mr. Putin. We're going to put sanctions on you because America has as well. Then all of a sudden he's fucking having a go at China, and like China's fucking got a billion people, and the idiots here say, oh, we've got to double our military from 1,000 to 2,000 because we've got to fight 1 billion Chinese. Yeah, fucking right. and they're flexing their muscles, and what they did, it had to happen because you've had your TSA pedophile fucking sickos at the airports for God knows since 9/11, the last 10 years. You know, what, 50-odd thousand of them on last count, and it was going to happen here. So of course, because of this bullshit they started with the terrorists and all this crap in Malaysian Airlines, he started this shit in our airports. He's employed 80-odd people to be like TSA officers, and lo and behold, like, we've never had a terrorist attack or a hijack or anything fucking to do with terrorists. Nothing. But all of a sudden, last week at our Melbourne airport, you got to listen to this. It's fucking so hilarious. There was a flight from Melbourne to Lebanon, and apparently these terrorists, the new terrorist-finding fucking idiots, they happened to jump on a plane and grabbed this guy with his 3 family, I think his wife and 2 kids, and they dragged him off and questioned him because they said they believed, suspected, you know, all these words. They didn't know for sure. Like he went through customs and all that shit. He actually boarded the plane. You know, when did they decide to jump on the plane? So they grabbed this guy off the plane and questioned him and released him within minutes. And they didn't end up flying to Lebanon. How the fuck they knew? They said he was going to go to Syria to join the fucking ISIS with his family. Can you believe that? And you know what they said? The reason he was suspected, because he had beheading images. Like, yeah, fuck, halfway through the flight, the hostess comes up, would you like a drink? He said, yeah, we'd love to have a drink because me and my kids are going to watch beheading images while we have a drink here. Like, can you believe it? It was probably the fucking newspaper from the day before which had the front page covered in this bullshit Foley image. That's probably what he had in his bag. But see, they just put this out all of a sudden. Then the Prime Minister comes out and he starts saying, look, we caught a suspected terrorist. But mind you, they let him out in the streets after 5 minutes. And no one's ever heard who he is, where he is, what his name is. But supposedly they did this. Oh, it's all worthwhile now. See, we caught a terrorist that was going to go to Syria, and not only go to Syria, but come back to Australia and do a terrorist act. I mean, how fucking bullshit is that? And now the second beheading, within a minute, the Prime Minister gets up. Oh, this is absolutely, you can name the words, shocking, disgusting, atrocity. Then the Deputy PM comes out. Then the fucking Treasurer. They're all there ready to say their shit, and it's just. Like I said, every government is controlled, so we've got no hope unless there's these 7. There were 7 governments that weren't controlled by the central bankers. That was Libya. You know what's happened to them. That was Iraq. You know what's happened to them. And you know what's going to happen to Iran. That was another one. Then you got bloody North Korea. Well, that'd be the last ones, but they're too worried about them because they got nuclear weapons that could fucking backfire on them. But
let them pull their bullshit. Let them do all this stuff. Let them pull their charades and all that, and we'll pick them apart one by one. And every single day, we'll win over people one by one over to the cause, which is simple. It's truth. What is the truth? As I say, it's completely 100% objective. And if they're going to lie to us every single day, and we've got the method, the ability to be able to counteract those lies and to expose them, then we might as well use them. Otherwise, what's the point, right? So I think I feel positivity with what we do. I think that we are making a difference. I think last week is the perfect example. There's no way that they would have come out and admitted that the James Wright Foley beheading was fake unless it wasn't from all the pressure coming off the internet, all the truther channels, putting out the blogs, putting out videos, calling it fake, and they had to respond. And we've seen this before. When there's enough people, when there's enough of a noise going on, they have to respond somehow. So we are making a difference. We have to take, you know, something out of this. We have to feel good Jeff, about what we've achieved collectively with this.
All right, look, I'm hearing you, Jeff, and I just want to change and get off this. I heard what you said, and I heard what Red Pill said before about this shit that's going on, and it has been going on for a while, about comparing. This is all going back to Dallas Goldbug, obviously. comparing one person to another, and the big one at the moment is what's the name? Israel, Alex Israel, and what's the fucking Foley sister. There are others.
Foley.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Jeff and Red Pill. Truth is, everyone out there that's listening to this, fucking leave it alone, because all they are doing this on purpose. They are making people look alike.
Oh,
so
yeah.
truth is, get in there, put out there, I think this, I think this. I put out the video of what's it, Foley against bloody Foley, and Foley 2 years ago. They're obviously a different guy, but that, you know, when it's obvious. But when you're not 100%, you're wasting your time, because even the comments you're going to get are, oh, sorry, he's got a bigger nose, or he's got a different ear, and there's going to be all this fucking fighting amongst truthers, and that's what they want. They want to waste your energy on shit that doesn't matter. Okay, so be it. If that was her in Sandy Hook and she had a nose job, okay, fair enough. That's not the big issue. Let it go. Let it go.
He's
Don't
right.
waste your energy. We had Betsy McGee fighting over bloody shit with what's the name, the idiot who called the building's falling down, and he was that idiot, the LA International Airport. Big fights over that.
Yeah.
Give it a break. Just make an opinion.
It is part of the problem, and it's part because in some ways, yes, if you can prove that the same person's been used in multiple events, then it's very powerful information. But at the other hand of the spectrum, if you can never prove it, and that's why people listening right now, I did pull my videos with Katie Sotloff. I can't believe I just said that. Right? Katie.
You're mixing psyops. You're mixing psyops there, brother.
Yeah, there you go. Well, can you blame me? I mean, there's so many.
Better head off to tomorrow.
But Alex Israel, right? And I just thought that it was becoming too like. Most people thought they were the same. So like in my videos, right? But yeah, okay. And people who saw the similarities had their reasons, and you know, there's some really good channels. There's a guy deep inside the rabbit hole that was doing really cool work. Is he right? I don't know. I figured that there wasn't enough info to concretely sort of link the two, so I dropped it, and I thought that it would be a disservice to the truth to keep kind of promoting that. Move on to things that are more important and that deal with the whole thing. It's like Sandy Hook. If you spend all your time trying to prove Gene Rosen is that FEMA guy, which he clearly wasn't, right? What are you doing, really? All you're doing is helping the disinfo, helping discredit what is going on. So don't focus on those things. Look at the things that you can prove. The money. Follow the money. Every one of these events has money trails. Always watch the money. The money never lies. So if you focus on that, find out where it goes, who's collecting it, who's behind these drives and all these charities and all these things. That's where we have to kind of police ourselves somewhat, and it's not so much about like outcasting people or calling people out. It's just about giving good suggestions, saying, look, you do really good work, but let's move on. Let's focus on what's real and what we can prove, because if we focus on what we can't prove, then we're just helping them out, basically.
Exactly. Now I just want to say, hold on, PK. I just want to say that I agree, same sentiments. That is a distraction, and I was going to put out a video stating that as well. Complete distraction, and that's exactly a great point, PK. I agree with you there. So, but okay. If you want to say something briefly, PK, because we're going to close up right now. We got to go.
Look, Jeff just mentioned deep inside the rabbit hole. I plugged him last week. He's actually on Skype with me now, and he just sent me a comment that he wants to get on your show. I know it's too late now, but hopefully, can you get him on next week?
Well, we'll see. Yeah, for sure. We'll get them on.
Yeah, we'll get in contact with them. Yeah, thanks, man.
We have a lot of people that want to come on the show, so I understand.
Yeah, Dallas Goldbug, he really wants to get on the show.
Jeff,
he really wants to get on.
Go ahead, PK.
End of the show. Can you just get on Skype? I know you're online now, and I'll just connect you with David, the guy who runs Deep Inside. We have a little conversation. If you don't mind.
Yeah, we're gonna be chatting for a bit after on this.
Okay.
But yeah, you can send me the link for him, and I'll add him as a contact.
Oh, so, all right. I'll get him you can add him to Skype. Okay, no worries. And while you're there, can you send me that link of that image, the video to how all this Google stuff works because I lost it. If you don't mind.
I can't remember which. You wanted the information on how to run a Google Plus thing?
Yeah, there was some woman that did some video on how.
Yeah,
it all
okay,
worked.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, yeah. On that note, Jeff, I think time is up. Gotta go. So we should end it right here. I want to thank everybody for joining us as usual. Anything else you guys want to say? One last word in before we go.
Anderson
Nope.
Cooper is not good looking.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Too late.
Listen,
I was just going to say Anderson Cooper myself. Beat me to it.
audience, thank you so much. Thank you so much, audience, for coming in tonight. Tomorrow, tune into Scariest Movie Ever, Rigged Reality Radio. It's always an awesome show to listen to. You can also tune in Sunday night to the new show we got, Laid Back, a little show, me and Press Reset Earth. Sunday night, I think we're switching it to 11 p.m. Eastern.
Is it called I Love Anderson Cooper?
And I think we might be doing it at 10 p.m. too. It just we don't know yet though. 10 or 11.
And I want to say, if I may, just before we go, I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. All those people, those awesome people leaving comments, except for the trolls.
Yeah,
And thank you so much. We all love you all, and we all really appreciate your input into everything that's going on. So
yeah, shout out to Heidi, Blind to the Truth, Jen, Open Your Eyes, Eternal Watchman, Experimental Vaccines, Matt.
Matter of fact,
Can
I just want to name a few.
guys?
I'm
I just
naming
want to
them
second
too.
what Jeff said. We can't do this without all their subs and people who view and make comments, because without them, we'd be nothing. So thank everyone that's subbed and viewed and commented, not only to me, but to Jeff and all the others that are doing this work. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
awesome.
Now, also, guys, so Sunday night, the next where you can listen to me and Press Reset, and then you got Tuesday, of course, Max Resistance back over there, 8 p.m. Eastern on MaxResistance.com. So, thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
We'll do it live.
Do it live.
Bye. Good night.
Night, everybody.